Hello. Hello. How are we doing? I like this music. Ooh, Lord, y'all. I am so sleepy. I'm so tired. I'm like, I don't know how people be doing back-to-back trips because I'll be traveling again this weekend. And I'm like, am I gonna make it? Let me say hello. Oh, and then I guess let me pull up. Hi, Sydney. And who's over on YouTube? Hi, Felicidades. Hi, Spider. Hi, Sydney again. Iris. Eric. Hello, y'all. What's up? You like that? Hey, Bluebird. Hey, Nello. Okay, actually, let me pause this. Oh, I did. Okay, bad. Wow. I'm trying to bring up TikTok. I don't know. TikTok don't really care if I yap for real, but I don't know if I'm getting into that game today. I didn't even want to make that commitment. I don't know if you saw the stream schedule where I was like, we're just going to be talking about DreamCon today. Because I don't know if I'm going to have it in me afterwards, you know. And we've never actually really, I don't think we've actually done like a full yap stream. Not on purpose. Well, that's not true. I guess I've talked about updates and stuff. But you know, y'all know what I mean. Hey, Nebula. All right, let's see. If anything, I was like, maybe I'll do like a spontaneous mecha chameleon. Hello? What's happening? It's like, I hate when my stuff don't work. It's like, why is it doing that? Should I make this bigger? Maybe we should do like this. I'll do like that. And then, sorry, you guys aren't seeing my stuff as per usual. Sorry. Hold on, I'm trying to see something really quickly. Maybe I'll just do like this. And do, sorry, I can't just go live on TikTok. I have to change a few things first. There we go. A little of that, yeah? And maybe we'll move it up here. Cool. Let me do like this. In case people want to sit down and chit chat. Okay. I'm gonna try to go live on TikTok. I forgot until I sat down about my internet problems. Like I didn't totally forget, but I kind of forgot. Yapping. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna be yapping about DreamCon, and we're not gonna be gaming. We're gonna be chit-chatting. Chat. All right, let's see. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see everyone. Oh my gosh. Lethal Games, how are you? How are you doing? How are you recovering from the festivities of the weekend? I don't know if I said hi to Nello already. I think I did. All right. Hi, Nello. Hi, Nebula. Nick, hello. Made a chameleon in the SpongeBob map for his birthday. Oh my gosh. So I was watching some of the TikTok stream for SpongeBob's birthday, and they were playing the Shanghai episode with the commentary from the actor who voices SpongeBob. I love that episode. The part where they're like driving the boat against the boulders, and like all of the sides of the boat are flying off, and it's like, you're good, you're good, you're good. And he's like, don't worry, Captain, we'll buff out those scratches. That's one of my favorite lines. That, I think I've said this before. That and Squid's Day Off. Squid's Day Off is, I think, one of my favorite episodes. I remember liking that one as a kid, where Squidward takes the day off because Mr. Krabs, what did he do? He ate something he wasn't supposed to, or he did something he wasn't supposed to. It was either the one where he lost his arms trying to hold on to a dime, or, yeah, did he say, I can think of 10 good reasons not to let go of a dime? I think it was that episode. Anyway, he leaves Squidward in charge. Squidward takes it as an opportunity to slack off, but then he stresses out all day because he thinks SpongeBob is an idiot. Only for SpongeBob to basically prove that he's not an idiot. He's just a little bit insane. You said, you're okay, you're still trying to catch up on sleep. Same, fam, same. Hey, literally the same. How are you? I didn't even want to get up for work. I, literally copy, paste. Yesterday was worse. Today was a little bit better. But I kind of blew off my work a little bit today. So after stream, that's why I'm like, I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on stream. After stream, I might get and do some work and just to kind of catch up, because I'm gonna be out again this weekend. And so it's just, my job is so interesting because it's always a lot, and there's not really anyone else who will do it. Like, my boss will do it, but then it's like, if he's helping me, he's not getting his job done. Like, we're just an overworked creative department. But hello, everyone. It's so good to see you here. It's so good to be back. I'm here back today and tomorrow because Thursday I need to pack. All right, because we going back outside. But then next week, I should be back to my regular scheduled programming, back to dealing with the family. I will be doing the Lurv Legacy Challenge tomorrow, I think. Just to check in, just be like, what's going on? But today we're talking about DreamCon. I think I have this recording. What about this? That button doesn't work? Button? Oh! That's not the button I wanted. I wanted this button. How come this button doesn't do anything? It's like, why don't my buttons do anything? Let's see, let's check this out. Yeah, so in case you were not aware, is it, sorry, hold on, let me check something. Is it this one? No, it's still not doing anything. Oh. Wait, I don't want it to do that. Is this gonna do what I think it does? Bet. It does. Okay, I just wanted to put the sponsor on there while I'm talking about DreamCon, because The Sims sent me to DreamCon 2026. They also sent me to DreamCon 2025, so I was happy to be a part of the shenanigans again this year. And I'm going to tell you all about it, and also talk a little bit about who DreamCon is and is not for. I've been seeing some conversation online about that. I have my own opinions, and this is just going to be an opinions moment, okay? So I'm going to do my intro, because like I said, I'm recording this. So just everyone keep it together, okay? Ready? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel vstreetlove. I'm Vanessa, my pronouns are she, her, and on this channel I like to make silly gaming videos. And today I want to talk about my experience with DreamCon in 2026, talk about some of the differences that I experienced this year versus last year, and I want to say thank you again to the Sims team for sponsoring my trip to DreamCon. So let's talk about it. Okay, so The Sims asked me to join their shenanigans, and they also asked me to be on a panel talking about The Sims. Me! I was on a panel moderated by Amare, you know, the musician, artist. She's the one who sings the Sad Girls song. And she sang a song that they used for the trailer for Royalty and Legacy. I would play it, but I'm not trying to get demonetized. So she was hosting the panel. And then Ebonics, Spring Sims, a game developer named Shamel, and me was on the panel. Me! They asked me to sit even platform with Ebonics and Spring Sims. And a game dev. I'm just like, ow! The game dev who was responsible for Love Struck, amongst other things. Black woman, mind you. Black woman responsible for Love Struck. Can I get some claps? Clapping emojis, okay, in the comments, in the chat. Yeah, it was an experience. And that was not the only Sims related panel I was on. Leela Bobina, you know, my streamer friend who we played Mecha Chameleon together, last year we played Jackbox together, who I met at TwitchCon last year. Anyway, she had a Sims like trivia game show panel. And she asked me and Nard Villain and Miss Riss to be on it. And so I was like, okay, sure. And she asked the toughest Sims questions of my life. I thought I knew Sims, and then Leela started asking questions. And I was like, I don't know a damn thing, apparently. Excuse me. So I was all the way confusion, actually. I got some of the questions right, but it was a time. And like, I don't even know if I actually have any like film of me on that panel. If somebody has it, I'm gonna have to reach out to my friends to see if somebody has it. But that's how I started my day. So let's start from the top. DreamCon is a convention for Black folks who are nerdy. Folks of anime, gaming, pop culture, and just like who are nerd coded. That's who DreamCon is for. It has, even in the year difference that I was in, sentences. I went in 2025, I went again in 2026. They said this year that they sold 45,000 tickets. So that con over the 3 days had up to around 45,000 people. And I thought last year the number they were throwing around was 35,000. Nobody fact checked me. But a lot of people over the weekend, and it felt like it. And this year, I was determined to take more advantage of the DreamCon festivities than I could last year because I didn't know what was going on. Last year, I didn't even know to download the app because I had never been to a con before. DreamCon 2025 was my very first con ever. And I was very concerned that I was not going to be amongst like my people, you know, like I was like, oh, I'm not an anime fan. So I was concerned that I was like taking up space of Black nerds. And then I got there and then I was like, oh my God, am I a Black nerd? Like, yeah, I don't know anime stuff yet. And I know I owe y'all watching anime. We need to do anime watch parties now. Cause I'm like, I can't go to DreamCon or BlurredCon. DreamCon for a third time, BlurredCon for the first time, and not watch anime. So that is what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the year. I gotta prioritize that. But like, it was funny because last year I really thought like I'm gonna be an outsider, you know, like I don't want to take up space for people who, you know, this is really their safe space. Like I don't want to be, and then it's like I got there and I was like, oh my God, was I nerdy the whole time? You said the line was wrapping around the convention center to get in. It was, and actually I do have a comment about that. I have some notes about DreamCon specifically, but there were lines to get in that didn't even make any sense. Because the convention center, the George R. Brown Convention Center, where it took place last year and this year, had multiple entrances to get into the convention center. And imagine of the 3 entrances I saw, only 2 of them had lines. The third entrance had no line. People had no idea that that was a way to get into the con. So they could be better about that. DreamCon pulled so many people that it made the news this year. DreamCon, I'm sure, shooketh the economy that is Houston, Texas. I am sure of it, because the level of just everything that was happening this weekend, and what, you know what, Sydney, too, you saying that because you're a Houston local, right? Or, you know, Texas local. Let me not put your business out there. But I feel like there are people who on social media who I follow, big time names that I follow, talking about, oh, I need to be at DreamCon next year. I'm like, oh, it's about to be like that. It is about to be like that. So we will see. You said yes. Yeah. So yeah. So let me break. So that's the vibe. The vibe is, it is a Black nerdy convention for folks who are fans of anime, you know, pop culture and video games and related things. And I say that because it's like I feel like anybody can go to DreamCon. Yes. I feel like I'm anybody who went to DreamCon, and I found a space that I like really enjoy being in. But I also want to make it very clear that, like, if you're not a fan of anime, gaming, sports, music, pop culture, nerdy stuff, like, you can go. Just like, don't be offended if you don't get it. Like, I think that's my biggest concern as it continues to grow. Again, it was my second year. It's like, I tried to be really mindful last year, my first time going, because I wasn't sure if I belonged. Everybody was super friendly, and I tried to be friendly as well. So it's not even like that. It's just more so like, this is a space that is clearly curated for a certain type of person, and it needs to stay safe for that type of person. So if it grows, if more people show up, great. As long as the core of who it was built for is still celebrated, that's what matters. I've seen some comments too that's like, oh, DreamCon is for dreamers. It's not just about the anime and the video games and the sports and the pop culture or whatever. Like, yes. And it's a convention. And these types of conventions are for the nerdy folks, Black nerdy folks, to be specific. And as long as they continue to be celebrated in the space, I think that DreamCon will be doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I'm excited about its continued growth. I hope I get to go next year. I really do hope I get to go next year, because the dates that I've seen thrown around would be dates I could go. There's been a concern for me that I couldn't go, because if it's always the weekend that it normally, or if it's always the weekend that it was when it happened this year, I wouldn't be able to go. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like the dates kind of shift a little bit between May, June, July, whatever. So hopefully we will hear from the DreamCon announcements or DreamCon Instagram soon about when next year's will be. I did hear last year in 2025 that they were secured to be in Houston for 2026 and 2027. So at least there's that. So the convention took place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those were the official dates for the convention. I came in on Thursday. Again, The Sims sponsored my trip. So it's like, they paid for me to come in. They paid for me to stay. I stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel. Because they got it like that, apparently. I didn't know that. He said the dates you've heard for next year are all in June. Yes, the dates. One of the dates I heard was Juneteenth, and I was like, "Yo, if they do it on Juneteenth weekend, that would actually go crazy." But yeah, they put us up in the Four Seasons. I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know they had it like that." Super fancy. I never obviously stayed in the Four Seasons before. The hotel was nice enough. It was. I mean, it kind of was a hotel. But what I had not experienced before, because I had never stayed in a place that fancy, was the hospitality. I was like, oh, the Four Seasons, they are kind folks. Whatever you need, they got you. You know, I called them, I called the front desk because I was like, hey, they had a speaker in the room, like a Bluetooth speaker. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But it was dead. Like, the speaker was dead because where it was plugged into, that little plug didn't work. So I called them, and they have a little placard in the room that's like, hey, if you take this stuff, you just will be charged. So like, if I wanted to take the speaker home, they also had like a noise machine in the room. And they basically like, yeah, you can take it, but like, you will be charged for it. And so I moved the speaker because I was going to call them and say that it doesn't work. But then I was like, well, let me try to, solve my own problem here. And I moved the speaker and plugged it into a different outlet and realized that it did work. It just was dead because the outlet wasn't working. So I called them and I was like, hey, is it a problem that I moved the speaker? Basically, like, I'm not trying to get charged for moving the speaker. It just was not working where it was at. And they were like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, the plug doesn't work. And they're like, do you want an engineer to come up there and check it out? And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, send an engineer up. And so I was like, but you gotta, I'm going to be out of my room. Can you not do it while I'm here? Can you do it while I'm not here? And then sure enough, when I came back to my room later, I saw a little note that was basically like, the engineering department came and, did, a little note of what they did. And sure enough, the plug worked after that. And I was like, now, if I was staying at a bunk cheap hotel, I'd just be screwed. First of all, they don't have speakers in the bunk cheap hotels. You bring your own speaker. But they had a speaker in the Four Seasons, and when it wasn't working, they're like, don't worry, we got you, fam. And I was like, thank you. He said, come on, Lex. I'm saying. I was like, okay. The thing that I regret not being able to do was go to the pool. That was the one thing I was trying to do, was go to the pool. I brought a swimsuit and everything, but it was just too much to do. I was trying to do too much. That was my theme for the weekend, doing too much. And that did catch up to me, but I guess I'll get there into the story. So I got there on Thursday. Thursday evening was the YouTube Creator Collective Party. So if you are a YouTube creator, a YouTube content creator, you make videos, you post videos, you get invited to these events that they do every now and then, typically around events or special occasion, little things that they're trying to do, but it's basically a little party. And so the YouTube party was on Thursday. So went over to the YouTube party. It was really cool. Let me see. I probably have some. I got some photos. I was going to do a whole little, actually, I'm not going to lie to y'all because it's us. You know me. I'm going to say the sentence and no, I don't mean to lie. But in my mind, I was like, oh, I should make a little presentation deck to show y'all how DreamCon went. But I didn't have the idea until like 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I was like, nah. But, okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah, the hotel. Let me see. This is me walking into the hotel. So that was my room. And it just looks, to me, I'm like, this is just a hotel room. You know what a hotel room looks like? Anyway, and then, but I took all these videos and stuff because I was like, oh, I'm gonna, I'm a content creator. So what is this? So the theme of all of the YouTube stuff was like garden, I don't know, and sustainability. So that was a party. I got this little bag, because that's one of the things that they were doing, like a little activity to fill the bag with like little charms and stuff. And so that's just me, I guess, filming all the different little charms that you could fill the bag with. And so again, this was at the YouTube party, but it was taking place at Art House or something. Art House. I don't remember, but it's like this. They had, let me see. They had this room that was like floor to ceiling multimedia like presentation. It was very disorienting, but it was cool. Okay. And then they also had a room with like these lasers. Because like I said, it's like art. I'm trying to find a good one to show you. What is this? Ooh, yeah, this is really good. Hold on, wait. Okay. And so that was like a thing with all these lasers. And it did like a little laser show. It was very interesting. And then what am I doing? I was trying to figure out if there's like a little thing that I could do against the background that could be fun. Because it's like a little silhouette. I was like, ooh, ah. You can see a little light show in the back. So yeah, so they had like different light shows in there. And then they had beverages. They had beverages for gratis, i.e. free. So, oh my gosh. Okay, the other thing is, I'm going to ask y'all, if you have not, please watch my TikTok that I made, my little recap TikTok, please. And copy the link. Like, when you go to share it, you can copy the link. Just copy the link. If you don't want to share it with anybody, it's totally fine. But act like you're going to share it. Like, copy the link. Because that's my sponsored video that I had to make in response to going. So, you know, I'm trying to get the numbers up on that one. So, yeah, because I was like, oh, this little clip made it into my little video. Okay. Yeah, so in one of the rooms, it's like they had all these mirrors and more lights and stuff. It's me and Ard. So, yeah, so that was a YouTube party. After that, on Thursday night, there was also a DreamCon creator event as well at a bar. So I think this is the DreamCon creator event. It's like creator and industry event. I think the people who had creator badges and industry badges. So that was kind of like the pre-con thing. Even copying it and sending it to yourself and posting it in the notes app. Yes, Spider. Yes, thank you. You said, oh, that video was cute. Thank you. You said copying the second page of the share option. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that was Thursday. And I think after that, the YouTube or in the DreamCon actual event, I think I just went back to the hotel. The next day, Friday. So Friday morning, we had brunch with the Sims team. So the Sims team, it happened in the hotel, and it was a lot of food. First of all, it was a lot of food. This was the salad. They gave us a salad, or no, we had like a little choice of what to eat on our little menu. We could choose between like a salad and sweet corn empanadas. For the entree, did I even film the whole menu? I don't know if I did. I think I just got a piece of the menu. For the entree, we could choose between chicken and waffles, build your own omelet, tres leches pancakes, and a crispy tofu poke bowl. And then there was dessert. So you could choose between, I think, an affogato and like some sort of sorbet maybe. And I was like, oh, happy International Non-Binary Day. Happy International Non-Binary Day indeed, folks. One of everything, please. Right. It was a lot. It was honestly a lot because after the salad, because the amount of food for the salad was insane. I cannot understate to you, that was a lot. It was a lot of avocado and just salad-y stuff. All right. And then this was the entree, which, yeah, this was the entree. After that salad, I cannot understate all of the food. And then just to be clear, there was dessert after this. That I don't even think I filmed because I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it because I got sidetracked. I got sidetracked with getting a tooth gem. I don't know if you can tell, but if I smile, you can see right here, I have a heart that I did not have before the trip. Avocado just tastes of nothing. It's texturally delicious. So I did like that. Yeah, so I have a tooth gem now. They had the option. These were legitimate options from a legit company. A custom-made plumb bob, a starburst, or a heart. And I gotta say, I got the heart because of vstreetlove. I got the heart. I wanted the starburst. And then I almost got the plumb bob. And then I was like, once I started learning more about the fact that the tooth gem could last, like, if I take care of this thing, this could last me years. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't get the plumb bob. You said happy non-binary day to me and all the other fellow gremlins you didn't know. Yes, of course. Yeah, so, but the whole thing with getting the tooth gem was you weren't allowed to like eat or drink within 2 hours. So like, it was kind of like in the middle of brunch. It was like, who wants to get their teeth, get a tooth gem? So I had the salad, which I was like, okay. Then the pancakes came, and I kind of like ate some of those, but then I wanted to do the tooth gem. Because I literally thought to myself before coming down to the con about I thought about a tooth gem or something. I was like, oh, that would be cool. Or a tattoo, because they had Tattoo Alley. And I was this close to leaving with a plumb bob tattoo, y'all. Again, my time management this past weekend was all over the place. But if I had managed my time better, I would have a plumb bob tattoo right here. Okay? They had some fake tattoos. So I got to even see what the vibes would be like if I got a plumb bob tattoo. That to me is very large. I think I would like the tattoo. I don't think I have one in here. Hold on, let me see. I don't know where the rest of them went. But the tattoo was like big. What you saw. I just showed you. It was like this big. And this little plumb bob pin, I feel like that's about as big as I would want it. Like small. Little. Anyway, very close. I was very close to doing it. You said, tooth gem. You said you thought I was talking about candy. You said years, really? You had no clue. So when people are switching them up monthly, what are they? Semi-permanent? I think if people are switching them out a lot, they must be like using some sort of solvent to get rid of it, because she like cured it. Hey, Lauren. She like cured it with like light. Like it was legit. There was not playing around with that. She propped her mouth open. Let me see. Is this a good one? Yeah, she propped. This is funny because it's like it's unsightly, but this is what it was like. Oh, and she like checked the placement, or she had me check the placement. Yeah, but everyone who did it had their mouth propped open. It was really funny. And then, yeah, now I have a heart on my tooth. Which is also such a funny activation for the Sims team to be like, yeah, you know what? We'll have tooth gems too. I think maybe it was like a Houston coded thing to do, but it's like we had brunch, then we got some of us got tooth gems. Not everybody who did it, but like, yeah, this thing can last me years if I take care of it, is what they said, and like try not to get rid of it. Part of me is like, maybe I will try to get rid of it at some point, but I think I can at least expect this to be on for a while if I so choose. That's how they do Invisalign too. That's so crazy. You can't do tooth gems because you have retainers. I know. And now I'm like, I want a little crystal. I want a crystal on the other side. So that'll be another little project that I have in the back of my mind. Oh, which I have an update for y'all about something else. But, cool. So then after that, I needed to go pick up my badge. So I went to the center, the convention center with Nard Villain, because he knew where to go. So he kind of like took me to where I needed to go to pick up my badge. And then after I picked up my badge, but you have to imagine, by the time I picked up my badge, it was time to go to the first panel. So the first panel was called Plumb Bob Showdown, a Sims game trivia show or something like that. And that's when Leela had all these trivia questions, and she was asking us, me, Nard Villain, and Miss Riss. And Leela was, she was stretching the limits of my Sims knowledge, okay? And she had like a whole setup. She made a whole game board, like a digital game board with cards that would pop up and little videos and all this stuff. But we had some technical difficulties. So she has promised that we will actually be doing Plumb Bob Showdown on Twitch at some point. So we will all be sharing a stream together, and we will be doing it again on live stream. So I'm so excited for that. We still need to coordinate the actual details of when we're going to do it, but that should be coming soon. So I am like super excited. You said you'd love to see me with a blinged out smile. You were trying to listen, got to catch what I missed on replay. Was telling my friend I wanted to go next year, and we were trying to find my old apartment on Google Maps. I love that. They typically last 6 to 12 months minimum. Okay, bad. See, that's hilarious. It was one of those things that I was like, oh, this is like more permanent. This is permanent, you know? And says me, who was like, I really wanted a tattoo. I saw the woman giving tattoos a couple of times over the weekend, but every time I went over there, the line was super long, and I was like, it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, so we meet up to do the panel. I'm trying to find a good clip so you could kind of see, like, this is kind of like my view. Hold on, wait. This was my view from the first panel, which was super cool, just to kind of like see people in the crowd. And yeah, like I said, Lila was asking questions, and she was asking what she kept saying, I thought these were easy questions. They were not easy questions. She was asking the most difficult questions of all time. Then she would ask a question that she would say was a hard question, but I knew those. Like an example, this isn't a direct example, obviously, but just imagine the vibe of her easy questions were like, what's Bob Pancake's social security number? And there would be so many layers to that question, right? 1, didn't know the Sims had social security numbers. 2, how would I know Bob Pancake's social security number? You know what I mean? And like, of course, the Sims doesn't have social security numbers. That's not a real question that she asked. But like, that's what the energy felt like in the room when she would ask a question. And it was fun too, because we got to do like, if we didn't know, we just asked the audience, you know? So every now and then she would ask a question. I'd be like, oh man, yeah. Ooh, if I just think real hard, and then I'd like make eye contact with some of the audience. Like, what is the answer? You know, you said that's easy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then an example of her hard question, an actual hard question that she asked me. You ready? She was like, what is the item that you have to bake that has a high chance of setting your Sims on fire? Anyone? Does anyone know that? Because I did immediately. And she was going to start giving me hints. She was like, oh, and I'll give you a hint. And I was like, I don't need a hint. I know exactly what that is. Nella, what is it? Oh, that's a good guess, but no. It's and then she also said it's 2 words. It's 2 words. There's an item that you have to bake that has a high chance of setting your Sim and their kitchen on fire, and it's 2 words. And then she's gonna start explaining. I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. And she said and then another thing I think was part of the question was it's shown up in multiple games. I'm trying to give you all the words that she said that I was like, yeah, I know exactly what that is. I don't need a hint. I'm trying to give you guys a chance, but I haven't seen it yet. And also, I don't know what part of town. Oh, downtown. It's basically downtown Houston. The convention center is in downtown Houston. You guys have no idea? Because I knew immediately. It was... No one said it yet. I'm seeing all your answers. No one said it yet. It has shown up in multiple games. It's something that your Sims can make. You have several posts with you with the DreamCon. Oh my gosh! Hi! You said, well, sorry, we're not pro Simmers. Eric, first of all, do not. You of all people do not get to say that. Thank you for the heart me. You do not get to say that, Eric. Cheesecake. No, but you're getting closer. Vanilla Coke with the answer. It's Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska. And so as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah, baked. I know that one. Baked Alaska. It's the thing that something that your Sims can make that they have to make in the oven that has a high chance of catching them on fire that has shown up in multiple games. And then she's like, I'll give you hints, 2 words. And then she's going to keep giving me hints. And I was like, no, I knew before she even said, when she said fire, I was like, oh, that's probably Baked Alaska. When she said fire and shown up in multiple games, I was like, Baked Alaska. And she was like, oh, I thought that was a hard one. I'm like, that one I know. Another one that was hard was in The Sims 2, where was Bella Goth last seen? Now, if you are familiar with Gons and all of his lore breakdowns, you know the answer to that. Slash, if you remember playing The Sims 2. But where was Bella Goth last seen in The Sims 2? Okay, so first of all, Eric, the answer you have is Don Lothario's roof, which is correct, which is why I don't listen to you when you say things like, and I quote, I'm not a pro simmer. You know what I mean? Like Nello, Don Lothario's house. You see what I'm saying? Like, you said that was a big guess. Well, it was a swing and a hit. Also, waifu, how are you doing? Yeah, looking out his telescope. Yeah. So she asked that question, like, oh, this is a tough one. It's like, that one isn't tough. I knew that one. I wish I had an example of one that she would ask. She did ask me, because she would go between the three of us, between Miss Riss, Nard Villain, and myself. And so then she asked me a question like, which Sims game between Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4, which Sims game was the vegetarian trait first introduced? Now, to me, that's a great question. Because it's one of those questions that I'm like, I don't actually know, but I can form a hypothesis based on a few things. Which Sims game was the vegetarian trait first introduced? And Nello, that is not the correct answer, at least according to Leela. The correct answer was actually The Sims 3. And so I was reasoning. I was like, well, you said which Sims game has to be 3 because it's not 2. Right. Because I was like, well, okay. I was like, I know the vegetarian trait shows up in The Sims 3. Obviously, we know it's in The Sims 4. But I didn't remember. I was like, I don't remember it in The Sims 2. I just don't remember. So if I had to guess, I'm going to guess The Sims 3. And that was correct. Ding, 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 ding. That was correct. There's another question she asked, which was, which item in the bathroom can get your Sims confidence up? Is that what she said? I think that's what she said. And she said something like that. Get your Sims confidence up, or Sims charisma. She said something like that. So I said, and I was playing around at first. I was like, well, the bathroom, you only have one thing that's required in a bathroom, and that's a toilet. And that one doesn't really get your confidence up. And then I started thinking to myself, oh my gosh, unless you start thinking about the speaking toilet, does that one get your skill up? And I was playing like I didn't know the answer, but I knew the answer, right? Some of y'all said the mirror. I was like, the mirror. So I said the mirror. But then Leela was like, what? Girl, did you even listen? And I was like, did I listen? What did you say? And then she repeated and she said, what item can you use? She changed the question just a little bit. That it was like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but you have to imagine, like, if I had heard that, I would have given a different answer. So I was like, oh man, like, because I was like, damn, I thought I knew that one. But then somebody in the audience said, no, that's not what you said. That's not what you asked her the first time. And then Leela was like, oh, really? And everyone's like, yeah, you asked her blah, 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 blah. And she was like, okay, my bad. And I was like, thank you, audience. I was like, thank you. If it wasn't for the audience, bro, I would have lost that one. It was a very simple answer to the question. I think what she was looking for was brushing your teeth. I think, oh yeah, she was looking for what can your sim do in the bathroom to gain their confidence. That's what she meant to ask. But what she asked me was, what item in the bathroom can you use to increase your confidence or something like that? Regardless, I said mirror, and mirror was a reasonable answer for whatever she asked originally. But what she was looking for was brushing your teeth, and I didn't say that. So she was like, girl, what are you talking about? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then someone in the audience was like, you said, that's why you kept saying sink. She said sink too. She was like, oh, I'll give you a hint, sink. And I was kind of like, yeah, the mirror sits above the sink. And I was thinking to myself, like, I know the answer, Leela. And then I said the answer. She was like, that's not the answer. I was like, this is crazy. What is up with this woman's questions? I was like, what is going on here? And then And then she went back and she explained what she meant, and I was like, oh, okay. There was just a little miscommunication, but thankfully the audience was on my side. Now, I still lost. Okay, I still lost. Miss Riss won. I think I got second place. Nard lost. I lost. Nard lost. Miss Riss won. So I am looking for an opportunity to redeem myself for sure. Interesting question, considering scenes can also be in the kitchen. I said the only thing that's required for a bathroom is a toilet. Everything else is optional. Sims trivia stream would be fun. No, absolutely. And then I was like, oh yeah, like, he's a trick one. I think the Sims busting out and herbs was timeless. Yes, absolutely. And even doing the, also why, oh, it did show up here. Even doing the trivia made me like, oh man, I do have to put Sims 2 on the list, y'all, to play. Like, I got to be playing more games and doing it more. I will say DreamCon has given me like the, all right, girl, we gotta go, you know? You thought the object was a sink because the toothbrush is not an item and brushing is an action, so you would have fought for your point. You would have gotten it right with the sink. You have to imagine whatever she originally said, my thought was, oh, you can use a mirror for that. That's in the bathroom. And that's just not what she was looking for. You said also Bob's security number is. So yeah, that's what I mean. It was just funny because like she was asking questions that were real specific. I feel like I learned things even in the trivia because I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for the heartbeat. Thank you for the heartbeat. Who sent me that? Waifu won the gamer. Thank you so much. Oh, and you sent me roses too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Child, so this is the picture that we took after the game show. Okay, clearly we're not looking at my camera, but this is us all together with our plume bobs. That was fun. And then, oh, I get to talk about cosplay. I didn't include this in my recap video because I was trying to include as few clips of other people as possible, just for like, I don't know, privacy. But the cosplay was eaten. So again, where are we right now? I'm talking about Friday afternoon. This is after my panel, my first panel with Lila Bobina. That ended around like 3 or 3:30. And so I had another panel to do, sponsored by The Sims, that night at 7. Okay, so I had between 3:30 and about like 6:30 to just kind of mill around and figure out what to do. So in those 3 hours, I saw cosplay. Of course, Doodle Bob ate down. Okay. I saw the Black Panther. Okay. Me and the Black Panther. Wakanda forever. You know, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. And then what else did we do? Okay, so we tried to go to Trap Karaoke. Look at all the folks hanging out in Trap Karaoke. Actually, let me tell y'all what I really tried to do. So after my panel was done, what we really tried to do, it was me, Nard Villain, Lila Bobina, and I think D Sims, because D Sims was there. Y'all know D? The D Sims? Yeah. Me and D were hanging out. So just so you know, I am officially, I don't even know how to explain to y'all. I know I'm doing a little tangent, but I was hanging out with D-Sims. I was hanging out with Troy from It's Me Troy, okay? And I was like, because I had met them before. I had met Ebonics before. I met Ebonics last year at DreamCon, so that was cool. So seeing her again, dope, obviously. And then we shared a panel later. We'll get into that later. But like, meeting people that the person who does all the Simlish songs, Samara is her name. Met her, hung out with her. She's cool as hell. It was just cool. Like people who I didn't meet before. Like, for example, Tay was there. Large Tater Tots. Tay was there, but I had already met Tay at TwitchCon. So I was like, I know Tay. And then I'm like scanning in my mind. I think, and then Nard Villain Nard Villain, obviously, but I met Nard Villain last year and Spring Sims last year. So it kind of felt cool because it's kind of like a reunion because like last year I was hanging out with Nard in Spring basically the whole time. Anytime I left my I almost said apartment. Anytime I left my hotel, I was just like, where's Nard? Where's Spring? Last year. And this year, it was more of the same. But now it's like, oh, like I actually know Nard. I actually know Spring. It's cool. You know? So, yeah. So me, I think Nard, Spring, yeah, maybe Spring too. And D-Sims. And D-Sims' partner was there as well. We tried to get into the I just want to sing Broadway songs and whatever else too that I saw clips of last year that looked lit as hell. And that was, when I tell you, that was the one thing I was trying to get to see. By the time I came over there, the panel was full. They didn't have any more seats. They couldn't let anybody else in. And I'm like, okay, so if I see like videos of that, I'm not even gonna be mad because I tried. And I was just on a panel, you know what I mean? So there was nothing else I could do. I just tried to go straight there. So then we couldn't make it into that panel. Still, even talking about it, devastating. Because remember last year, I wasn't even sure exactly what it was. I thought it was just going to be sitting around talking about Broadway musicals and stuff. And I was like, I mean, sure, but like, no. And then they were just singing. And I'm like, that is totally up my speed. Please. And so couldn't get in. So then we went to Trap Karaoke. We were there for a little bit. Somebody did all of, what is it? Family Ties? Is that the one? Hold on. Yeah. Someone rapped all of Family Ties. A non-black person, mind you, did all of Family Ties. So I have a little clip of that. Oh yeah. But I don't know if I can play it without getting demonetized. But he really did do the whole thing. Let me see. Hold on, wait. Can I play some of this? Look at this. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do too much. But when I tell you, wait. When I tell you, just like, because DreamCon is a black event, but also there's non-black folks there, like that guy up there doing that entire song, basically barely took a breath. Family Ties is a wild choice. And when I tell you, he's saying the whole thing. And in my mind, I was like, dang, I should have, because I was like, what do I know from top to bottom, damn near, with no help? Because there's no lyrics. You just got to know it. I think they can play a version with the lyrics if you want. But like, that was the instrumental. He did the whole thing. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, you know what song I would have done the whole thing of? I know from top to bottom. It would have either been Not Like Us. Surprisingly, I know that from top to bottom. I know, I think 87 to 93% of the lyrics of that song. Or Hiss, Megan Thee Stallion. Same thing, top to bottom. In fact, the only thing that would slow me down with Hiss is I ain't got breath control. I don't work out like that. Another thing that needs to change for the second half of the year. And the only reason, and to be clear, the only reason why I want to work out is so that I can rap Hiss top to bottom without sounding out of breath at a karaoke night. Like, that's the only reason I want to work out, is so I can be at the club singing along without getting out of breath. And like, I've done my little treadmill walks, and I try to do, I haven't committed though. I need to commit to the treadmill walk. Like how Beyonce says that she used to train singing while on the treadmill. I need to rap while I'm on the treadmill. Like, that's so I can, I feel like Mariah Carey. Got these so obsessed. My so famous. Might get managed by Christiana next. He can't move on, can't let it go. He hooked nose with Latina Snow. And since need make help make money, come be my hoe. I said everything but I said nothing but hoe. He said I feel you. You know what I mean? Beautiful safe space. It was. He said, yeah, I know this ish. No, like, cause he did. From top to bottom he did. And then somebody else came up. What did she do? what song she was gonna do. But she up there dressed as Piccolo. It was funny. The whole thing, like, we didn't stay there for long. We ended up, you said gotta do my hiss workout. Like, I'm saying. Hi, can I help you? Maxine was acting funny when I got back too. She always acting funny when I come back from a trip. She tries to ice me out, but she can't help herself. Diva by Beyonce. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You said, yeah. So anyways, we go to trap karaoke. Then I think afterward we ended up going to the Twitch lounge. They were, let me turn this off. They were giving away little like towels and stuff. So it's cool. It's like a cool graphic towel, which I do have all my freebies here. Okay, I'll grab it in a second because I don't know why. I don't know how I packed this just now. I literally just packed this before stream. So, oh, here it is. Oh, so I can show y'all. Yeah, they gave away this cool, like, I don't know, commemorative little... They called it a towel, but it's more like the texture of, like, sweat shorts. Look how cool this is. Just like a little commemorative thing. This is, like, super dope. So yeah, so they were giving these little things away, but there was a panel going on in there. It was more serious. Like the YouTube Creator Lounge, excuse me, every time I went in there, it was more like a party, even though they did have panels that I didn't get to make it to. But Twitch was like, it felt way more serious than the YouTube one. I was like, ooh, yikes. Hey, bringing my suitcase out when you're about to pack for a trip. I can do Money Trees by Kendrick. See? And that would have been, yeah, you said cats don't like when their humans leave. Clearly. Because she was acting real funny. And I tried to tell her I was going to be out of town. And then I told her I'm going to be out of town again. So please don't act funny. But I know she's going to act funny. She's going to be big mad this weekend. I've never done like so close trips like that. Then, more cosplay. I'm not even going to tell you. I only take photos of the cosplays that I know. Hey, Queen. Anyone? 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 Anyone know who that is? Because I saw not one, but two. Did I take a picture of the second person? Oh. No, I didn't. I took way less photos of cosplay this year. That's how you know I was just frazzled. I was misfrazzled, if you will. Him! Yes! So I didn't take a picture of the other him. Sorry, someone said they missed it. So yeah, so someone did him cosplay. I saw 2 different him cosplays. Thank you for the follow. Where's my... Here. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so... Then I went to... Oh my gosh, this one was funny too. Somebody was chef. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. This is why I love DreamCon, because if you're so insecure about like people's cosplays, oh my gosh, look at this person's Sims cosplay. Look at this. Look at this. And in case you can't see what's happening, it's literally she had the little plumb bob on, but then she also had like the little social options near the plumb bob. Isn't that adorable? Like, honestly, loved it. And then I took a video of these poor ladies on the floor because they just looked so good, but they were clearly so tired because they were like, child, do whatever you want. Do what you will. But they look so good. And then this one was also so good. Loved it. Literally loved it. And I think that was all of the actual cosplay photos that I took on That was Friday. So what was happening was we tried to go to the sing-along thing, the Disney, it was Disney and Broadway sing-along panel. No dice, couldn't get in. Then we tried to go to Trap Karaoke. We went down there for a little bit. We listened to a few people do a couple songs. Then it was like, well, what are we going to eat? So we tried to go and get food. The lines were super, super long for that. Then we had to, I think, meet up with the Sims team to like film some content for them. And so by that point, it was like already like 5:36. And I had to meet up at like 6:30 for the panel. And so I was saying, like, I haven't eaten anything since brunch. I haven't eaten because when it was finally time to go and like try to eat, the lines were so long for food. And that's my one criticism about DreamCon is the food situation is crazy there. It's crazy. The lines are super long for everything, except for they had like a boba tea this year. I don't remember if they had it last year, but this year the boba tea line never had a line. There was never a line for the boba. So I went and I got some boba just to like, I don't know, have something. And I got the Vietnamese coffee with some boba bubbles, which it did not need the boba bubbles, but I just was like, you know. And so, yeah, so it's like I got my Vietnamese coffee, but then I was talking to someone on the Sims team, like, yeah, I haven't eaten anything. And they were kind of like, okay, well, try to go find something. Do you think you can go find something? So I realized that in the convention center, there is a grab and go food area for you to go down there, get something to eat real quick. And there were no lines in there. It's on the first floor near one of the main entrances. I went down there. They had like sandwiches, chips, I think some like grab and go kind of like drinks in bottles. Whoa, I was so glad that existed. And I was a little bit nervous at first because, you know, grab and go sandwiches, like when you think about the airport grab and goes, it's like, ugh. But no, it was like these little pretzel bite sandwiches, like ham and cheese sandwiches and turkey and cheese little sandwiches. I got a little 3-pack, grabbed some chips, grabbed some water, I think, and then was able to kind of like wolf it down real quick. Ran into somebody from chat. I don't know if she's here today. I saw Ashley in real life. It was so cool. I was like, oh, seeing people in real life, this is awesome. So ran into Ashley while I was trying to wolf down food before my panel. And then, you know, ate real quick and then went back to get ready for the panel. So then at that point, meeting up for the panel, we were just kind of waiting around for things to get started. We did a tech check, whatever. And then, yeah, basically once Amare showed up, everybody came in. Everybody got these like little free little plumb bob headbands, which I don't think I have one of. Do I have one of those? I do. Guys, I haven't even unpacked for real. So I don't even know if I have like all of my little goodies that they gave, but it basically was like a little, like a free version of this little headband. And so it was just like a little plumb bob headband, which was cute. So they gave everybody little plumb bob headbands. And then when I was sitting up there, you could see the amount of people who were in the crowd. I think obviously people were there for Amare. I mean, people were there for the Sims. They love the Sims. Yes. And then, yeah, a lot of people. And so there were people there for Amare, people there for the Sims, you know, but it was crazy. So like we did the panel. Amare asked us some questions. I mildly blacked out because like what she asked and what I was prepared to speak about there was like the Venn diagram was like didn't overlap as much as I thought. Like we got some questions ahead of time to help us prepare, to help us like think a lot about, you know, some of the things that maybe we wanted to say or whatever. But who knows what I said while I was up there. I've got some clips of like, oh, what is that? Why does this think? Sorry, TikTok thinks that I'm not here, which is so annoying. You said you'd love to see the clips. I'm like I said, who knows what? Let me see what I said, because I'm like, who knows what I said, child? I do not know. And even what they asked us about, oh, you know what? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Hold on, let me see if I got it here. Yeah. So one of the questions they asked was, what do we want to see in the game? And I did have an answer. That was one answer that I definitely was prepared for. Anyone can guess what I said? If you didn't hear it, you heard at the beginning of the clip. Can anyone guess what I said on stage in front of a couple hundred folks, the Sims team, and on the panel with me, a game dev? What did I say when they said, "What do you want in the game?" You sound this great. You were quick with the Afro Pig. Afro Pig, baby! I was like, I actually do know the answer to this. And I said, I've been on a private campaign. I'm like, anybody who knows me, anyone in my chat knows, I don't want an Afro Pig in the game. And I looked at Shamel, and she was like, I make no promises. But I was like, I want an Afro Pig. And then later, as everyone was talking, and they gave like way more just eloquent answers, I was like, oh. Right. The last thing I remember saying was like, you know what I also would love to see? I would love to see an Atlanta-based pack, because that's something that we've all talked about in this space as well. And I heard a lot of oohs, ahs in the crowd, because I was like, I feel like it would be a good merge of city and suburb, and it would celebrate our culture. Shamel had a great answer. She was like, I would love to see like the electric slide added into the game, because that is something that is way like Black culture coded. And I was like, dang, yeah, you know, she was on this side of me. I was like, oh, that's a good answer. And yeah, I think some of the other things we talked about were like community. One of the questions was like, what has my community taught me about the Sims, or something along those lines. And I was talking about how you guys teach me stuff about the game all the time, and how you guys encourage me to just kind of like push myself with the game. How it's because of you guys that I've become such an advocate for the Get Together pack, because I love having my Sims do stuff together and have parties and stuff. So, you know, it was cool. It was the panel was really about celebrating community. That was the core of the panel. And so it was really cool to be able to do that, especially being on the panel again with Ebonics, the Ebonics, and Spring Sims. Hello. Like, to me, I was like, I said in my little recap video, I was so honored, because I was like, I am on the same panel as Ebonics and Spring Sims. Wow. I was like, okay, dang. So that was really, really cool. And I was able to do that because you guys show up here for me, and I appreciate you for real. You know, so it's like we've been on this journey together. So yeah, so that was really, really, really cool. I cannot understand it. And then right after we had our little emotional moments, we were talking about our, you know, the game, the community. Thank you for the roses. You said you probably would have cried. I would think I was too disoriented to even cry, because I was like, oh, we're really up here. Hearing my voice echo on the mic and just hoping that I say things that resonate with people. After I got off the stage, I was like, you guys can tell me if it was bad. But everyone's like, you did so good. I was like, it's okay. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. So I'll be curious. Hopefully I get a copy of a recording of everything that was the whole panel, and not just like the little clips that, you know, were filmed for me. But then, yeah, right after that, they got into Simlish karaoke. So it was interesting. They had like a few options to choose from that they had converted to Simlish, and Amare kicked us off. So she did her song in Simlish, and it was crazy because she was like, this is faster than I remember, but she did a good job. It was fun. It was real fun. And then after that, Samara came on stage and she did Smile. At first when I see you cry, it makes me smile. Whatever that one is, it makes me smile. That one was a lot easier to sing along with her Simlish wise, because the other one by Marae, way difficult. I was like, I don't know how you're doing that, because that was fast. I could barely read the words by the time it was time to move on to the next line. Smile, a lot easier to keep up with. Then after Smile, I think Large Tater Tots and Nard Villain got up there and did Hot in Here. It's getting hot in Heeb. Ooh, oofla, offla, klurp, oobla, eba, ooh, I don't remember the words, but it was actually, that one was also pretty good to sing along to, because that one I know well enough to know kind of like where the indentations and stuff need to go. Really, it was really, really fun. And then after that, some people came on stage and they did Hot and Cold. by Katy Perry. Just some fans in the stands. Another one that was very like way easier to do than Amare's song, because it was just slower and you just like can catch up a little bit faster. Even if you don't exactly remember how Hot and Cold goes, it was just very, very slow to do each word like this, you know? Like so that was really cute. It was fun. We didn't get to do as much as we wanted because it was a little bit the panel was running late, so we had to get out of there because there was either another panel or they were just shutting down. I don't remember what the vibes were, but we had to go. So then after that, I'm like looking at my photos. I think after that, we just went back to the hotel and we, chit-chatted, gabbed, if you will. And that was Friday. So Friday was like the day where I had to do the most of like being, actually that's not even true. I was gonna say the most of being somewhere on time. But like that was the like biggest things I was concerned about was like, okay, the panel in the afternoon, which was one of the first panels of the con, that time slot that we had for the game show was one of the first time slots of panels for the con. So one of the first things people were going to. And then the evening panel was kind of like one of the last things people might be going to in the day. So it was, full day. And so after hanging out in the hotel, the next morning, Saturday, I had the Black Girl Gamers brunch. And so this was when I started making decisions that I would later kind of regret, if I'm honest, because I planned on going to the Black Girl Gamer brunch and the Sims team was totally cool with that. We all had agreed that we should meet up like in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon, so we could give out merch. So the Sims team brought a bunch of merch. They brought, not this pin. Yeah, they bought pins like this. This is the pin they gave me, so I kept it. So they brought a bunch of pins. They had, what else we had? We had hats. Oh yeah. Cause I'm like, they gave me some of the stuff too. Let me see, sorry about stuff. So like they gave away pairs of socks. So we each got a pair of socks as creators. Oh my gosh, hi, hey Tawny. I'm talking about DreamCon. So they gave us a pair of socks as creators, but then they had extra socks for us to give away to fans who were at the con. And then, this hat, they had this hat that they had extras of for us to give away at the con, but then this one was mine to keep. And so yeah, and then some little pins. So I had tons of pins to give away, and then they also gave me some game codes. Now listen, don't tell anybody. I did sneak some of these away, okay? So these were all supposed to be given away. But I kept a few because I was like, my community. So I have a copy of Island Living. I have a copy of the Essential Glam Kit. I have a copy of Spa Day, Modern Luxe, and Get Famous. Yeah. So at some point, we will be, actually, just real quick. And these are game codes for PC and Mac. Yeah. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do since we're talking. Since we're chit-chatting, let's go ahead and do the Essential Glam Kit. But let me make sure that the survey is open. Sorry, it's just every time I have to mess with this damn form, I'm like, I have to remember where it was. Here we go, the giveaway form. Okay. So. It is now accepting responses. So the giveaway password will be GLAM. If you would like a chance to win Cryptic Sims Essential Glam Kit, code courtesy of the Sims team, via DreamCon that I snuck away. That definitely should not be on my person. Please type !giveaway if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch. And if you're on TikTok, you're going to actually have to go to the link in my bio, scroll down until you see giveaway, click on it. Once you see that and you click on it, you will see the Google form. It's a Google form where you will fill out what's the giveaway password. Just put glam. If you win, how can I contact you? That's where you're going to choose where I can reach out to you. Now, actually, supposedly YouTube has messaging now, but I have not investigated that. So for today, it'll be either my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitch. Okay. You're going to type your username from the platform that you just said. So if you said you can contact me on TikTok, what's your username? Type in your TikTok username, the @ blah, blah, blah. So I can message you if you win. The rest of this survey, you don't have to fill out until it gets down to I understand that if I don't hear from you within however much time, I'm going to give it away to somebody else. Okay. So it looks like a few people have already started entering it. So I'm going to continue talking, chit-chatting. Do I see glam? Yeah, I see a couple people entered for glam. Bet. Cool. So I'll keep going. So yeah, so that's all. I'm like, I got a few I should have. I took one of each. Those are the ones that they were giving out. So it was kind of cool talking with people, and people would come up and they'd be like, oh my God, I love The Sims. Where'd you get the headband? It's like, oh, we don't have any more headbands, because we ran out of headbands at the panel the night before, because as people were coming in, the Sims team was just handing out the headbands and they ran out. I don't know how many they brought. There were no more. And so then it was like, oh, I got a pin. Do you want a pin? Do you have spa day pack? No, here. So it was cool. So it would be cool to see if anybody ended up getting the codes, because the code is right on there. So anybody who saw it, had it, go home, type it in, boom, free code. So that was cool to give to people. But yeah, so Saturday, getting up, I went to the Black Girl Gamer brunch. That was nice. It was also nice to meet some of the people, because I'm in that group. Again, if you are someone who identifies as a Black woman, Black femme, or your gender identity aligns with being in that space, then please apply to be a part of the Black Girl Gamers group. And it's not just a content creator thing. It's literally people who are fans of gaming. So game developers, game players, some content creators as well. It's a cool group to be a part of. So I was happy that I got to go to that brunch to meet some people in real life, because you guys know how it is. Oh my God, thank you for the heart me. It's also nice to actually be able to see it whenever. ADF! Oh my gosh, hey! I'm talking about DreamCon. So yeah, so I went to the brunch. The thing I wish I had done differently is I wish I had gone to the brunch in my cosplay. Because I didn't do that, I went to the brunch and I was trying to be cute, which was silly. I wish I had just gone in my cosplay. I had to go back after the brunch. I had to go back to my hotel to get ready, and I was rushing. So the brunch, I met there at 11:30. And then from 11:30 to 1:30, I was at the brunch. And then from 1:30 to or maybe even from 11:30 to 2. I don't even know. Because by 3:30, almost 4, I had to be at the convention center. Thank you for the coins, or the little finger hearts. Thank you. By 3:30, I had to be at the convention center to be in my cosplay to be able to give stuff out. So I just kind of was like, oh man, if I had actually put on my cosplay to go to the brunch, I could have gone straight to the convention center and had a little bit of time to either go to a panel or walk the exhibit floor, do something like that to just kind of be in the DreamCon vibes. So that was one thing that I was like, oh man, I should have done that. But it's okay. I ended up going to the brunch. That was fun. Then after the brunch, I went to the hotel. I put on my Mother Nature cosplay. So Nick, you didn't respond to my Instagram message. Please respond to my Instagram message. Please. Because I asked folks to interact with the Instagram message, or my Instagram story at the time. Because if you did, you had a chance to win a pack courtesy of the Sims 4 team, or the Sims team, not the Sims 4 team. So the Sims team was like, hey, you know, if you want a code to give away, just let us know what code. So I got to let them know. But because only 2 people responded, I was like, I'm just going to give them both a pack. That's what happens. When I'm a small enough creator, you respond, you might get something. You know what I mean? So y'all don't interact with it. That's on you. So yeah, so in case you didn't see, I was Mother Nature. I was even gonna throw on my costume again today, but then I was running late, so I couldn't. So that was my cosplay. I put on some nails. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? A raid. Ah! It's Morgan! Simteria! Hello! Hi, Raiders! Hello, everyone. I'm talking about DreamCon today. I'm talking about DreamCon. I'm doing my DreamCon recap. It's a sprinkle raid. Let's go! Hey, Oreo. Welcome. Hey, Foam. Hey, Simterior. I'm showing off my cosplay for DreamCon. So I was... Oh, yikes. So I'm realizing that all of these videos are not necessarily me just like sit here and show y'all, because I am practicing my transition video. So I'll show the video instead. Maybe that's a better... If you didn't see on my Instagram, I think I posted it everywhere actually. I posted on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. My little transition video that I did that I think is so cute. Okay. So you can see that was my Mother Nature cosplay. And listen, I felt like this is why I probably am going to do it again on stream. If not, probably not this week, but soon, because I didn't wear it long enough for people to appreciate the details that I did for the dang cosplay. Number one, oh, this is another cute little video that I got at the YouTube lounge in the cosplay. So you can see. So I did my nails. I put the butterflies in my hair, which isn't like canon to the Mother Nature. But I try to do her little vest, little leaf overlay thing. I try to add some of the details that she has on it. One thing that you can't tell is I had green contacts in. But they weren't unnaturally green, unfortunately. I wanted unnaturally green. But unfortunately, they were naturally green because I had to get them from my actual eye doctor because I can't actually see. So I don't think anybody really could tell that I had green contacts in. I think my eyes looked maybe a little bit lighter. I don't know if people were really paying attention. And then I had some nails on that were like they were green with like flowers and butterflies and stuff. And then I changed my nose ring. So my nose ring was gold and it had like a little gold leaf. I had the elf ears on that you couldn't see because of my hair. And then I had little leaf earrings. Like I did a whole thing. Details that as I was doing it, I was like, nobody's going to know who Mother Nature is in The Sims. Like generic Sims fans who played maybe once or twice walking around on DreamCon are not going to know who I am. You have to be dialed in to know who I am. And then you have to be even more dialed in to know all the little things that I did to try to like feel like Mother Nature. I was this close to doing like those tattoos that we got from that pack. But it was like, okay, well, that was more like if I just wanted to be like a Sim fairy. But I specifically was trying to do Mother Nature. And I think I did a damn good job, considering the only reason why I didn't stream last week, surprise, surprise, I needed to finish sewing that overlay. I wasn't done. I didn't pack it. I think it's still over there with my stuff. I couldn't even look at it. Okay. I was like, once I was done with it, I was like, just throw it in the suitcase. I don't care. I packed my suitcase. Well, you know, I'll get there in a second. But anyway, I wasn't done sewing, y'all. So I couldn't stream last week. I was like, I have got to finish sewing. I haven't sewn anything in 3 years. I haven't sewn anything in 3 years. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna sew organza. Which if you don't sew, that doesn't mean anything to you. But if you do sew, it's like, why would she do that? I don't know. I just like, I like the shininess that is organza sometimes. So that top, and I only sewed, and then the other thing that I did, which I'm like, where can you see it? Another thing that I did was if you've ever watched a reality competition show, sometimes there will be a challenge and someone will say the line, I've never done this before, but I'm going to do XYZ thing. And hopefully that'll give me an edge in the competition. And they always lose because they love doing some things in a critical moment that they have never done before. And what did I do in a critical moment that I had never done before? I decided I was going to sew on some embroidery patches using the embroidery foot of my sewing machine. Now, I might be going a little bit too inside sewing terminology. If you've never used a sewing machine before, I don't mean to alienate you in this conversation, but when you use a sewing machine, there's a little attachment that determins kind of like how your things are going to sew. You want to use the right attachment. Most of the time you can use just the default universal one for most of the things you're sewing. But sometimes you can switch that attachment out to help you with different projects. For example, and it's called a foot. So they have a zipper foot, which helps you when you're trying to sew zippers. And they have an embroidery foot, which helps you when you're trying to do kind of like free directional sewing. I've never used that before. You said you haven't used a sewing machine since you were 14. Yeah. And I was like, isn't there a tool I can use on my sewing machine to help me sew on these little patches? Again, it's like, you can kind of see, hold on, wait, right here. These patches on this organza, I bought these off Bezos' website. And it was like, I was trying to sew them on and I was kind of having a hard time. And I was like, isn't there an attachment I can use that I could sew in any direction? Because normally when you're sewing with the regular attachment, you have to just kind of push the clothing forward. But this one you can free sew. But I never used that before. So I was trying it. And at first it was kind of giving me a hard time. And I was like, this is why you don't do things you've never done in critical moments. Then I got the hang of it and I was like, yo, am I gonna start sewing again? Because this shit is lit. Oh my God, I was having such a good time with that foot, with that embroidery foot, that I was like, I think I'm going to start sewing again, actually. I need to sew some embroidery patches on things. I need to make my own embroidery. This is about to be lit as hell. And so yeah, so I did that on the top and I did the little embroidery patches on the bottom. And in fact, I probably have a video of the project itself. Oh yeah, you can see in this picture, this is before I sewed it on. Okay, so I have the outfit on my mannequin, on my dress form, just like, and I had pinned where the patches were going to be. And this is where I start thinking out loud, right? I'm like, okay, well, I have the equivalent of like sewer's tape. I was like, I could just tape this. It doesn't need to be sewn down. I'm only gonna wear this once. And I was like, no, girl, because if it looks cheap, you're gonna be mad. And this is one of those places, because it's a cosplay and it's a convention, that I was like, I'm gonna be around people who like have good cosplay. The least I can do is make sure everything's sewn on correctly. And I did, y'all. I did. And I was super proud of it. And I wore it for all of what felt like 5 minutes. So that's why I was like, we're wearing this again. I've got all these extra green contacts. We're wearing those again. I don't know if I told y'all. Also remember, I have 6 people who entered for the Essential Glam Kit. So if you would like the Essential Glam Kit, I haven't closed the little thing yet. So you can still enter for the code. And you don't have to wait either because I'm staring at the code. So I basically will be able to take a screenshot of it and then just send it to you immediately. So inspiring. You wish you had more friends with similar interests because you'd be afraid to go alone. Oh, put a pin in that. Let's talk about that. But let's put a pin in it real quick. Okay. I did my cosplay. I dressed up, super excited. I went to meet the other simmers. And so these were the other costumes, or the other cosplay. We had some cow plants. So we have Samara on this side. It's Samara, D Sims, and then this is Isabel. Okay. And then I started taking selfies. I took selfies with everyone just because I wanted selfies. That's Troy. Troy was Bella Goth, if I remember. Yeah, Troy was Bella Goth. And then Nard was Bob Pancakes. And then Tay was Dina Caliente. With the blonde wig. And I think she had blue contacts in. It was crazy. And then... what did I even do with this? Did I do anything with this video? Not yet. I was trying to do a thing where I was trying to pretend like I was Mother Nature turning people into fairies. So this is something that may end up going online. So you guys are getting a sneak preview. Ready? And I think Nard or whoever has the camera, like what I'm trying to do. Okay. So I did a little thing. And then this. And then that's Maya. She works on the Sims team. Okay. And she was dressed as a burglar, but then I put some fairy wings on her. I was like, hey, can you do this for me real quick? And she's like, yeah, sure. Oh, and then there was somebody else too who was dressed as a fairy. Okay, hold on. This is me being. Someone else was dressed as a... hello? Dressed as a fairy. Already. She was so cute. It was cool. It was cool. So I was like, oh, because I'm Mother Nature. I turn people into fairies. So, it's cool. You said use the tape to widen your eyes. Oh, you're talking about walking around like the Strangerville Sims. Yeah. Where's the best place to watch? Should I join YouTube or Twitch? Or are you talking about where you're at right now? Works right now. So yeah, so we walked around with the cosplay. We gave out all the merch in our cosplay. After the our cosplay moment, we went to the YouTube lounge, hung out in the YouTube lounge for a little bit. I got an adult beverage. Oh, you know who else was there? Do you guys know these creators? They're sisters. They were also invited by the Sims team to go to DreamCon. And their cosplay was a mailman. And I can't remember what her cosplay was. And then Ebonics and Spring were both the Grim Reaper. Your instant messages are closed? That's a lie. The lie detector test determined that was a lie. It should be open. Also, you shouldn't be messaging me. Nick responded to one of my stories. Anyway. It's closed. Whatever. Why are you guys trying to message me on Instagram? No one's messaging me on Instagram. You should be filling out the giveaway, and the only people... You're talking about responding to my stories? This is a mistake. I made a mistake. Alright, I gotta figure that out. It's invite only, right? I won't message you. Okay, it was responding to my stories. You guys saying that you couldn't respond to my stories because they were story replies. Yeah, it says allow story replies from everyone. So I know that's a lie. Okay, well, maybe let me turn this on. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. Now you should be able to message me on Instagram. I concede that this weekend there was a point that maybe that was not turned on. And I did have to learn that through somebody. He said, let me put a screenshot of this guy. No, don't fact check me. No one fact check me. You mean right now? You try to respond too? I don't think it works. Really? Oh, that is my bad. No one said a damn thing to me when it was happening. Y'all are all coming to me days later. He said, Nick is the good egg. Yeah, Nick responded. I know Nick responded. That's why I was like, oh yeah, it works. Whatever. I don't need this. Cow plants, not complaints. Kill the game with the cow plants, right? And so, oh yeah, and then someone else on the con floor, or on the exhibit floor, this was their cosplay. So good. People are just so freaking talented and creative. So yes, so after we gave out merch in our cosplay, we went to the YouTube lounge, we hung out for a little bit, and after that, I walked a little bit of the exhibit floor, with maybe Nardvillain, maybe Spring Sims. I don't remember who was walking around with me, but walked the exhibit floor a little bit because I was starting to feel anxious because I was like, I feel like I haven't done enough DreamCon. I felt like most of my time was waiting in lines and then rushing to try to do my like contracted fulfillments because the Sims sent me there. So I was like feeling really, really anxious and wanting to just have a moment where I could walk the con floor because I was leaving Sunday morning. And so I was like, I feel like I hardly did anything. And so anyway, so I walked the exhibit floor a little bit. And then after that, at this point, it's like 7-ish, maybe 6:30, 7. I don't even remember. And remember, I had gone from brunch to doing my cosplay to rushing over to the convention center around 3:30. And then by 3:30, 3:45, we're there. We're giving out giveaway stuff. And then after we were done with that, around like 5 or 6, I don't know how long we were out there doing that. Maybe like an hour or so, we ended up going over to the YouTube lounge. It took us a while to get in there, so we were just waiting to get in there. We finally get in there, and it's like, okay, I grabbed some drink. They had some food, like some hand-passed food, so I was like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of food. But then the basketball game, DreamCon, they always do a charity basketball game. So the basketball game was that night. So, hey, Scary Mary. Because the basketball, because the basketball game was that night, it was like we had to go back to the hotel and change to go to the basketball game. And I was a little annoyed because I was like, I'm running around again. I haven't been able to be on the floor. I'm barely in my cosplay. And that's why I said if I could rewind time, I would have gotten dressed in my cosplay before I went to the brunch. So I would have had more time on the DreamCon floor. Anyway, after the YouTube lounge, I do walk, and after walking the floor, we go back to the hotel. And the Sims team had already been back there already, and so they were trying to help us organize getting over to the basketball game. And so I was kind of like, that felt like I was rushing upstairs, and I was worried they were going to leave me. They weren't going to leave me. At this point, anxiety had taken over. You know what I mean? Like by this point, I was anxious and aggravated. So I go upstairs and I change, and I'm like, kind of wish that I could just sit down and do nothing for a second, but I didn't feel like I could do that. Turned around, came back downstairs, and of course they were waiting. And it was fine. And we called some Ubers. We went over to where the basketball game was taking place. They had some like the box seats this year. So it was kind of like a different section where there was like nicer chairs and like some tables and stuff where we could order food and we could order drinks and watch the game. So like at that point, it was like calming down, chilling, eating, spending time with people. That was a lot of fun. And then after that, went back to the hotel, and they were like, y'all want to go to the club? And we went to some club. And we hung out. I was like, what? And it was cool. It was fun. It reminded me of my college days, if I'm honest. Because that's the last time I had gone to a club like that. Like, it's been a long time. And the club that we went to was more like to me, it felt more like a lounge kind of club, but it was outside. Sydney, we went to camp also. I just figured you would know. We went to camp, and it was a vibe. It was very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, man. Houston reminds me of Atlanta. Houston reminds me, I keep telling people, if Atlanta was in Miami, that's Houston. So it was very just Houston, I'm assuming coded, chill vibe, rap, cutesy kind of like moment. Nobody was like up and dancing. Everyone was just kind of like vibing, singing along to music, doing hookah. Will the Sims be there next year? No idea. This is a year by year situation, folks. You said campus chill. Yes. Campus chill. I didn't know that. So we go out there and I was like, this is chill. And so then I was like, I gotta pack because I'm leave tomorrow morning. So I go there, hung out a little bit, I did a little dancey dance. But then I went home a little bit earlier than everybody home. I went back to the hotel a little bit earlier than everybody else with a couple of other creators because I was like, that was fun, but I gotta pack because I gotta leave. And I was sad, but also I was like, okay, you know what? It's fine. Like, I'm ready to just go home. And I was sad because Issa Rae was on Sunday. So I was like, oh, I'm missing Issa Rae. I'm missing more just DreamCon moments. Like, that kind of sucks, but whatever. I get back to the hotel. It's like 1 or 2 in the morning at this point. Pack up my stuff, go to bed, kind of wake up at the time I'm supposed to leave. And I see Delta says that there's a delay for my flight and it has been pushed back 38 minutes. Then I get another text message and it's like, there's been another delay for your flight. Push back another 38 minutes. I was supposed to fly out at like 11. Now I was flying out at like 1. And then Delta, whenever they do that, you get the option to reschedule your flight for free. And I had been threatening to reschedule my flight for the last week, y'all. Like for the last week, almost 2. I was like, should I leave on Monday? Knowing I have a job. There was no leaving. Leaving on Monday was not going to be an option. And it would have been an option if I didn't have to turn around and leave to go to Atlanta this weekend. If my family reason wasn't this weekend, I probably would have stayed and left DreamCon on Monday. Left Houston on Monday so I can do the fun stuff on DreamCon on Saturday, because there was stuff on Saturday I still missed even though I stayed longer. So once they were like, your flight's delayed, do you want to rebook for free? I was like, hell yeah. And I rebooked, and so instead of flying out at what was supposed to be 11, ended up getting pushed to 1, I was able to fly out at 6. Which meant I could stay on Sunday. I saw Issa Rae speak at the fireside chat, which was so cool. I got to hang out with Leela and Nard a little bit longer. I also got to go to Twitch had a brunch. So I got to go to the Twitch brunch, which was really cool. And saw Miss Riss again. Hung out with Spring some more, and Nard was able to go back to the floor, to the DreamCon floor, and walk around a little bit more, which is all I really wanted to do, was to walk around and, see the vibes and talk to folks and maybe buy stuff. Yeah. And then after that, headed back to the hotel, grabbed my stuff, went to the airport, ate some catfish at one of the airport restaurants. Delicious, honestly. And then flew back to New York City. And I was back in my bed at 1 or 2 in the morning. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because I have work tomorrow. And that was DreamCon. Again, thank you to the Sims team. Thank you to the Sims team. Because I wasn't sure if the Sims were going to go. So I had started trying to make arrangements. Like I was going to send myself. But I kept being like this, please, Sims, please send me back to DreamCon. And they did. And like I said, not only did they send me to DreamCon, but they asked me to be on a panel. Me! Again, I can't get over it. I'm like, me? You want me on a panel? If you say so. You know what I mean? Sure. Whatever you say, I'll do it. So yeah. So it was so fun. It was truly so fun. I know I've yapped a lot about it. Just what happened. Now, there are a couple of just things I want to just talk about related. So, someone brought up earlier, man, I would wish I had more friends who were into this sort of thing. I would be so intimidated to go alone. I think DreamCon should do not calling it a singles mixer, but almost like a solo mixer. With cruises, there's always a singles thing that they do for people who join the cruise by themselves, so you can meet other people who came alone. I think DreamCon should do the same thing. There should be some sort of little panel or just little hangout area for people who come to the con by themselves. Because I think, based on what I've seen online, there were several people who went alone. And I totally would encourage you, if DreamCon is something that you would be down to go to, but you'd be a little bit nervous about going alone, to go alone. Specifically, if you're a local, if you're in Texas or the Southern Texas area, you could go for a day trip. Or if you're in Houston, for sure, if you have no one to go with, go by yourself. For sure, because the barrier to entry of going and hanging out is way low. You get to meet people. When you go to panels, people are so willing to talk to you. If you've never been to a DreamCon before as well, there's a whole thing, like a culture around never having been to the con before and just meeting other people who've never been to the con before. So if you are in Texas and if you're within like a few hours drive of Texas or of Houston specifically, and you have no one to go with, go to DreamCon alone. Go for at least a day by yourself. Now, if you would be traveling to the con by yourself, I get it. That's super intimidating. When I went to TwitchCon in 2025, I went by myself. And I was super intimidated. I gave myself all kinds of pats on the back for being a brave human being and going alone. Okay? Now, when I got to TwitchCon, it worked out because, for example, I was hanging out with Nardvillain a lot. He was cool. He's a cool guy, and he just knows people. So then I was linking up with his people, and next thing you know, that's how I know Miss Duchess, who I was just playing Mecha Chameleon with. That's how I know Miss Duchess. That's how I know Leela Bobina. That's how I know Asmara. Like, it's from going to TwitchCon alone and just linking up with people while I was there by myself. So I know from personal experience that going to these cons, super intimidating if you're going by yourself, but you can leave with lasting friendships. So if you have the financial way to support yourself to get to the con, if you're doing like, you know, the weekend trip by yourself, to buying your ticket, your travel, and your accommodations, and being able to pay for yourself to eat while you're there, if you can financially support yourself to do that by yourself, I still highly recommend you go to DreamCon and just, you're going to be scared. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be like, oh, but I don't have anyone to go with. And I promise you, you will find other people to like link up with and be able to just kind of like do stuff all weekend with. People are like way open that way. Truly. It is not cliquey in that way. I think people are like super open. Additionally, I think there are like movements and stuff like that of people online trying to find other people to go with who are maybe going alone. I would suggest you doing different things to put yourself in a position that you can find other people to go with. So for example, like I said, if you're a Black woman or a Black femme or someone whose gender identity aligns with being in those spaces, I would suggest you try to apply to something like Black Girl Gamers, because there were Black Girl Game BGG members who went to DreamCon this year, who you could be, you know, making relationships and forming connections with BGG members to be like, hey, do you want to go to DreamCon? And in fact, because I was at the BGG brunch, there was a couple people at the brunch like, y'all want to go to BlurredCon? No, it wasn't BlurredCon. It was Berlizi's ball. We were talking about going to Berlizi's ball, and I was like, I gotta check my calendar before I commit to that. But even still, like being in that space, somebody was like, you want to go? Let's plan on going together. So right now is the time to start putting yourself in these spaces with people who want to do stuff like that. I mean, even for example, being in my chat, right? Like if you guys are super cool and chat together and like start talking outside of chat and being like, well, I kind of want to do this. You want to do this too? Like that's how that actually naturally, I want to say matterizes, like matures. Like when you're in these spaces with people, do not be afraid to try to make the leap from being like online friends to in-person friends. It's scary. It's intimidating. I know it's intimidating. I empathize with you. But what is, in my opinion, worse than like the fear of showing up to the con alone is the regret you have because you were too scared to go. Because I'm seeing a lot of people being like, oh man, I wish I would have gone to DreamCon. Yeah. And I know I was there. I'm like, it was a time. There's still stuff. I had to get over the fact that there is still stuff. 2 years now. I've been to DreamCon 2 years in a row, and there's still stuff that I didn't see. Still stuff I didn't see. That I'm like, damn. I still didn't see the dodgeball tournament. I still didn't go into the card game room. There's people playing spades. I still ain't seen that with my own eyes. And I've been there twice. So there are all kinds of stuff going on. And that's just DreamCon. There are related parties and things that were happening that I didn't go to. I was gonna go to a party, and then I just last minute was like, I'm not going to a party. I mama. I'm sorry. She's like, you don't talk about leaving again. So I'm just saying, like, the fear of going by yourself is legitimate, and I want again to acknowledge that the social anxiety was high. My thing about people saying that they have too much social anxiety to go to DreamCon, lucky for you, DreamCon is a space for Black nerds. Hella people there have social anxiety. The people who are outgoing there are outgoing as far as the nerds are concerned. You know what I mean? You're seeing the outgoing nerds, the outgoing anime nerds, the outgoing video game nerds. That's the outgoing people that you are seeing doing the most. And content creators. Some of us, that's our job. Our job is to show up and be outgoing. Like, that is the job of being a content creator. So don't let that push you into thinking that the only people who show up there are people who act like that, because that's not true. There's a lot of socially anxious, neurodivergent folks who are overwhelmed and overstimulated who also go to DreamCon. Okay, thank you for the heart me. So I keep seeing all this. Oh, I have too much social anxiety. You are in good company. That's what the con is for. People who like don't get outside outfit but want to get outside. You said they had official parties and unofficial parties. Exactly. There's enough going on too that, like, if you want to be in Houston that weekend and you can't go to DreamCon the entire weekend, maybe you could only afford a day pass or something, there's still parties. There's still, I mean, the whole economy of Houston with DreamCon has been uplifted by going down there. So I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, for me with DreamCon, there are two main things with DreamCon that I'm always thinking about. One, the food situation. The food situation in the con is a little bit, it's a lot. They need to figure that out. I don't have a solution because I don't do events. I don't know if it's more vendors. I don't know if it's the same amount of vendors with fewer options. You know what I mean? Like, you show up and you get one thing. Some of these vendors had like several options. I'm like, no. You get one thing. Because even the Chick-fil-A, they have a Chick-fil-A station in the convention. That line was always long. And when you show up there, you're only getting, what, a chicken sandwich and a drink. I don't know why the lines were so long. And the reason why I'm harping on that even more is because now that I have been to TwitchCon, there are no lines for food at TwitchCon. Or if there is a line for food, there's at most like 5 people in front of you. At DreamCon, you might have like 30 people in front of you on the line for food, minimum. And it's like, what are we doing? This is a convention. Why isn't there more food? Or why do we have such long lines for food? Like, what's going on? I don't know. If your June would have gone better, you definitely would have went by myself, but also it's close enough for me to go for one day and come back home after a nap. True. Yeah, all over Houston. Yeah, you know, and so the food situation. Now this was my same critique and my thought process last year, because I was also like, listen, DreamCon is great for blurs, for Black nerds. DreamCon culturally is very straight. It is. It's very straight. Now, I know all the gays were there. There were gays there. I myself included, right? I know we're there. But culturally, it's very straight. It is. And I do think that could be more done to be mindful of that. And this is my example. So I don't know. So again, I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm about to show y'all something. I don't know what this is. So they were giving away these bags, okay? But it's not just a regular tote bag. It's like a backpack tote bag, which is super cool. On this side, we have this character here, who I've been told is like one of the characters related to DreamCon. She's like, oh, wait, what is she holding that up for? Right, Maxine in the background. Hey, baby. She's like, I've had enough. It's time for me to get your attention. So this little backpack thing, they were giving these away, and like, this is what I mean by like, about DreamCon specifically, because I guess they're promoting this new show. This is the part of the bag that most people are going to see most of the time. This is the part of the bag that is expected to be on your back by the nature of this is where the handles are sewn. And like, I know this is gonna be it's too deep. I know. Man on this side, woman on this side. Man, everyone gets to see. Woman is low-key hidden away. And I don't think they were giving out versions of the bag where the handles were sewn on this side so that I could wear it so I could see this side. You know what I mean? To me, this is representative of DreamCon. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this is promoted. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not into anime for real, so I don't know where this is. I'm just letting you know, this is representative of DreamCon to me. Like, yeah, men and women are there. Men and women nerds are there. But like, they're gonna give out the stuff that has this showing. And like, this is there, but this is the secondary thought. And that's what I feel like being in the space that is DreamCon. It's like, as a black person, cool. As a lesbian, I'm like, you know, yeah. She's like, enough of your trip, right? Where'd she even go? Yeah. And so I still have that thought. That's why I'm like, I want everybody to go. They did have like an LGBT meetup that I couldn't make because, like I said, my time management was piss poor this time. So I think there were some elements of that. And for me, if there was a survey that was given out about DreamCon specifically, I would talk about the food. I would talk about the solo mixer that they need to have. And I would talk about, yet again, more LGBT stuff. And I think they had fewer LGBT panels this year than last year. But I will say panels are not... How can I say this? Panels are like approved by the DreamCon team, I think. But like, who comes up with the panels? It's very like community focused. It's gathered. The panels are gathered from the community, which might be like all cons. I just am not familiar. Again, DreamCon is like the main con that I've interacted with. Isn't she doing the Hugo face though? Maybe seen as inappropriate. That being said, there is misogyny and misogynoir everywhere for those with eyes to notice it. Yes. Yeah. Locals plan it and we tend to leave for outside food and come back. That was another thing too that I think I noticed. Like, there was food trucks that I, again, never seen. Still haven't seen the food trucks with DreamCon, and then restaurants that people go to. So, yeah, I don't know the face. I don't know any of that. But like, yeah. And it's like, who is RDC but a group of men? And that's just what it is. That's just what it is sometimes. So I like DreamCon. I think it's fun. I love the what it does for like not even the culture, but just like the fact that something like that exists is super cool. But it does make me want to explore other spaces like it did last year, of like other places where I also might fit. Like there's FlameCon apparently, which is like an LGBTQ con. Like anime con, which I'm like, oh, that seems cool. I might go to that. It's happening in New York. It seems pretty small in comparison. Still seems like a small thing, more intimate. But because it's small and intimate, again, because I'm not into anime yet, I'm like, oh, might not be exactly my space. Because I'm not trying to come and take over. I'm not trying to gentrify any spaces. I'm trying to go to spaces where I already fit. You know what I mean? So my half nerdy ass showing up somewhere, gentrifying a space, I'm not trying to do that. You know? Some other things that I got. So like I said, the Sims team gifted me some socks. The Sims team gifted me, like I said, the Plum Bob hat. They gifted me the little Plum Bob pin, which I've already gotten a Sims Plum Bob pin. And now I got another one. Now these are all for sale, I'm pretty sure, on Shop the Sims. So if you see anything that you're like, oh man, I really like that, you can go to Shop the Sims, you can purchase it yourself. Including something I'm so glad that they gifted. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to pay for this. I got the Sims handbag that comes with, sorry, oh, it's hard to contain my excitement. it actually comes with these this keychain, which I find so interesting that it goes with the bag and is not sold separately. So this is the keychain. Okay, bottle opener freezer bunny, which brand wise hilarious because I wouldn't think that they would go for that. And then we've got a little cow plant, a little boom bob, and then whatever this is. What is this? Is this just a thing so you can find your keys? Because someone tell me what this is. But it has Simlish on it. It looks like. Anyhow. Ooh, thanks for the follow. I'm like, I guess I just put the, I'm like, what did I do? I can't remember how it was modeled on the website. But I just clipped it onto here. Okay. Now, this bag has the Sims logo. It has a Argyle rhombus kind of pattern that is, you know, reminiscent of the plumb bob. It has some handles. It's a canvas material. Comes with a long strap so you could do crossbody if you so choose. There's like a zipper. It comes with a zipper. And then inside there is, just trying to make sure I'm not going to expose myself. There is a white lining with a zipper pouch and then a non-zipper pouch. And yeah, this bag is actually awesome. I am so glad they gifted us this because it was one of the things that I saw on the website that I was like, I don't need this. You don't need another bag. I couldn't justify buying it myself, but it didn't mean I didn't want it. And now that I have it in person, I'm like, no, this bag is awesome. I'm using this all the time. I think it's well made. It's cute. The pattern is subtle enough that like, it's not like it screams Sims, you know, it just seems like a cute little pattern. It's super cute. And again, this is also available on the website. You guys may have seen it. And like I said, it comes with the little, the keychains. I'm so glad. I'm truly so glad that I have this. Honestly, so cute. And then I already showed you the little Twitch little towel thing. The Sims also gave me this black hoodie. So I'm looking at this black hoodie and I'm like, what's going on here? Okay, sure, a black hoodie. Like, what is this? I almost wasn't even sure this was supposed to be from them. I was so confused. And then, look what this says. Do you see this? Strangerville Research Division. And then on the back, there's some little, I don't even know what that means in Simlish. I gotta look it up. So when I saw this, I was like, no, this is cool as hell. Yeah, if you didn't know what a plumb bob was, the bag is still cool. Exactly. Hi, Diamond. Yeah, so like they gave me this hoodie. Super cool to have. And like, cause it's kind of subtle enough. Like when the hood is down, I think it kind of would cover up whatever's happening on the back if you wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. But if not, it's like Sims coded without just being a plumb bob. Like I love stuff like that. I'm like, I want a Sulani. I need a Sulani shirt, like a Sulani vacation shirt. You know what I mean? Like that, like, so the Strangerville Research Station thing, super cool. Okay, the bag. They also, in our little bag, they gave us a little, it's the Sims Emergency Moodlet Kit. So inside here, they had like a water bottle. They had some snacks. Oh my gosh, Carmen, hello. Thank you for the raid. Hi Raiders. I'm talking about DreamCon. I'm talking about DreamCon. I'm talking about the freebies that the Sims team gave me. So yeah, so wait, I've got Houston, Texas, Space City Sour Rings snacks, which I need to have. And then they also gave me some popcorn that I ate today. Some kettle corn from some company. There's some mints in here. Oh, they gave us a they gave us like this body mist, some lotion, some liquid IV, you know, because it's like an emergency kit. There's some mints in here. They also gave us, which it might actually be in my bag. They gave us a fan. So I've got a little Sims fan. Okay, that I can pop out. And then it's got 3 speeds, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, which obviously we were in Houston, Texas. So this was definitely helpful. And they also gave me, or not just me, they gave all of us, but they gave me a little power bank, which actually might still be in my suitcase, but like a little like portable charger basically, to have us prepared, just prepared walking around, you know, Houston, walking around the con. So that was really cool. And then this was the little bag that I got from the YouTube event. Oh, there's my little temporary tattoos. I've got 2 more temporary tattoos. I've got a plumb bob. And you can't see it at all. But apparently there's a cow plant on here. Which if I angle it in the light, I can barely see the outline of a cow plant. And then I got some little pins from the YouTube thing, I think. Yeah, there's some pins. And then I went to an indie game. The Afterlife Cafe was giving away some little things. So yeah. And then let's see what else. Now I'm gonna have stuff all over the floor. Okay. Also at the YouTube thing, because like I said, their theme was like fruits and vegetables. You say you need a raid to run. Okay. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for stopping by. They gave away this little thing. I'm not even entirely sure why, but the little labels for everything were YouTube. The little merch label, so it looks like a fruit and vegetable kind of thing, but it's actually YouTube, which is cute. And then these were some of the like commemorative little booklets, DreamCon booklets that I don't think I got last year. I don't remember getting these. So it was about the con, the map, the schedule, I think. Yeah, like the session titles and then the maps and partners and, you know, that sort of thing here. So I got 2 of these because they were different covers, I guess, and I wasn't sure if there was a difference, but there wasn't. And then these were our different badges, or my different badges. So like the YouTube Creator Collective, we got a little badge. And then this was my DreamCon badge. DreamCon Creator, my Creator badge for 2026. This year they gave everybody like a trading card thing of Tony Sadavici, which is so funny, which... I had 2 fangirl moments. I actually wanted to have 2 fangirl moments, but with a different person the second time. Still didn't see the other person that I wanted to fangirl over. I saw Tony Sadavici. Totally had a fangirl moment. Nard said I kept it cool. I wasn't so sure. But when I was in the hotel, after I checked into the hotel, I ran into, I think, Nard Villain, and you know, I was like, oh my gosh, hey, you know, doing whatever. And like, I think I needed to go back to my room or go up to my room to just see it. And as I'm talking to him, some guys get on the elevator, and I was going to get on and I was going to let them go. And so I was like, whatever, I'll let them go because I'm talking to Nard. And then they opened the door. They're like, you know, open the elevator door to let us on. So I was like, oh, fine, I'll get on. And I get on and I look, because I hadn't looked. I looked at who let us on, you know, like, thanks. And then I was like, oh, it's Tony Sadavici! And I was like, oh my god, you're so funny! I love your content! Ah! That's how I felt inside. That's how I felt I was doing. Apparently I kept it cool. But I literally couldn't even speak. I was like, oh my god! I think he's hilarious. And so that was cool seeing him. And then later, the next day, I'm in the YouTube lounge, the YouTube Creator Lounge, you know, for the content creators. You know, I got my beverage, or I'm about to get my beverage. I don't even know, but I'm like there's a lot of people in there, so I'm trying to navigate around people. And then then it's like I kind of like glitch. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Mecca? If y'all are on TikTok / if you know her podcast with Jamila, Mecca, like Machiavelli, was in the YouTube lounge. So I'm like looking at her, and she was like, oh, sorry, like she was about to move, and I was like, I just want to say I love your content. So I got a picture with Mecca. I didn't get a picture with Tony because again, I'm trying to keep it cool, and I didn't think about it at all. I didn't think about it at all. And also, like, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm trying, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm supposed to be a content creator. I'm supposed to be keeping it cool. Like, this kind of stuff happens to me all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. And in my Sims cosplay, in the red lights of the YouTube lounge, I took a picture with Mecca, as in Machiavelli. And I'm telling y'all, this I didn't even care. I was like, whatever, bro. I'll fangirl. I don't give a damn. It's Mecca! Like Machiavelli! Oh my god! I was like, oh my gosh, I love your content. These sneakers so good. And she was like, oh, thanks. I was like, can I take a picture? She was like, yeah. And I did. Oh my god, because you never know who's going to be at DreamCon. So that was cool. That was really, really cool. I was like, oh man, I love Mecca. And then I saw her videos and I saw that she ended up doing cosplay the next day, which was so funny. So like, and I'm pretty sure she's based in Houston. So I think she just wanted to see what the vibes were given, and they were given. So, you know, so that was cool as hell as far as I was concerned. And then when I did walk the exhibit floor and the artist alley floor, I literally said, I was like, the only thing I'm looking for is stickers and earrings. That's all I ever really want to buy. I almost, and I really, you know what, in hindsight I should have, but I think I took a picture of their Instagram so I can order it. I almost bought this dope ass Mrs. Bellum like poster that was made to be like, I don't know, like a cool ass movie poster. I don't think I took a picture of it. I don't think I took a picture because I was trying to keep it cool. Almost bought that. Ended up not buying it, but now that because I'm still thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I will. But I still haven't even put up all the stuff that I got last year, I realized. So I was like, I don't need to do that. I followed them on Instagram, whoever I was gonna buy that Mrs. Bellum little poster from, because I thought that was really cool. But I did buy some earrings. And I know Nick is just going to be looking at which one she wants to add to her inheritance. But I got these little Queen of Heart earrings. I was like, oh, these are cute. I got these lesbian heart earrings. They had different flags too, which was really cute. And I bought these. And I was like, these are awesome. These little like bubble art kind of balloon dog. I don't even know. These are just cool because they're like pearlescent, like a purpley pearlescent. I like those a lot. And then it was like buy one for however much money or buy four for a deal. So I bought a fourth pair that I don't think I'm going to keep. I think if my sister-in-law wants these, I'm going to give them to her because she's kind of like, she likes the spooky vibes. And so I thought these were hilarious. I was like, oh yeah. But if she doesn't want them, I guess I'll keep those too. You know, so I bought myself some earrings. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I did good this year. I think that's everything. As far as what I got, what the vibes were like, you know, it was fun. DreamCon's fun. Like I said, I do recommend it. I know that my criticism is honestly around the LGBT portion of the welcomeness that is DreamCon. That's my only, which is, I'm like, that's a big deal. But if you're, I don't know, if you're used to being around straight folks, it's fine. For example, you know, I went to the after party with my Sims friends that once I got there, I was like, oh, this is very straight in a way that I just have not engaged with on purpose in a long time. And I could tell, I could tell almost immediately when I got there. I was like, I probably shouldn't have come. I'm glad that I did to see what was up because I was like, oh, you know, if I like the music, whatever, cool. But then being there, I was like, yeah, this is for a type of person that I used to be. And I think about it a lot too, because I'm like, back in the day, if you will, I used to go to things like that and I would get aggravated if there wasn't like good twerking music because I'm like, I want to dance. Like I want to dance. I want to have a good time. Now with any men, I don't want to dance with men. In fact, that was my least favorite part about going to the club. Again, hindsight's 2020. But like, I could tell, I was like, oh, I was in a club that I can picture the friends who I have right now that would totally be their space. they totally be like, yep, I had a good time. That was lit. That was a good time, whatever. But like, it's more of the chill vibe with your drink. Like I said, with hookah, you know, vibing out. Sometimes you know the lyrics of something and you're just chilling. Like it's a C and B scene kind of place. And I was like, I don't need a C. I don't need a B scene. I was trying to shake some ass. And it wasn't an ass shaking moment. And all the women were wearing heels and tight dresses, which they looked great. But that was very indicative for me that I was like, you weren't checking for me. This is the kind of vibe where you're not checking for me. So maybe I need to exit. I'm glad you acknowledge my inheritance. Don't forget the socks and the keychains. Next, please. He said, do you think a pyramid with a big eye and I think a top hat? Is that her? Did I make that up? What are you talking about? My guess was Mother Nature on Insta. Was I right? Were you Mother Nature? Yes, I was, Kalara. I was. I showed some vibes earlier. But yes. Oop, hold on. Yeah. Again, I don't know. The videos. It was fun. It was a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Where is... Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the giveaway winner really quickly. Let me grab your usernames. And, I have my little bookmarks. Okay, I added everyone's name a couple times so we can see. Okay. All right. So the winner for the Essential Glam Kit by Cryptixin will be, drumroll please. Oh, not who, baby. Mitch Match! Hey, hey, All right, cool. Congratulations. I'm gonna highlight your name and say you won the game. Yeah. Ooh, I hope I don't owe someone something. I need to go double check that. Okay, great. Congratulations. So we have that. I need to put I'll deal with that in a second. I'll deal with it in a second. You said lesbian will spin. Exactly. So yeah, y'all, I think overall, would I go to DreamCon 2027? Yes. Would I recommend that you go to DreamCon 2027? Yes. Another thing I would say is, if you have been to DreamCon and you want to get more involved, consider applying to be a panelist and put on a panel. If you have never been to DreamCon and you're afraid to go by yourself, go by yourself, especially if you're close to that area already, which is Houston. If you're close to Houston already and you can drive, then just take a day trip. You don't even have to like worry about staying in a hotel or something. You definitely should go. See at least once. And if you are not local, you have a year to start finding some friends who will go with you to DreamCon. Do not let the fear of going by yourself keep you from going at all, because it is a vibe. It's a cool thing if you've never been in a space like that. I went to college and I joined a Black sorority. So I ended up having several opportunities to be in a space with Black people that was like specifically for Black folks. I was thinking about, I think happening in the same weekend as DreamCon was something called Texas Greek Picnic, which I was like, oh man, that brings me back, because back in my day, it was AGP, Atlanta Greek Picnic. And considering I was in a black sorority, Atlanta Greek Picnic was just where all the black fraternities and sororities would get together to party in Atlanta. Basically, I imagine it was like Freaknik light, very, very light, because it was a bunch of, you know, college educated folks who were in fraternities and sororities. So I have been in a space before surrounded by black people who are like, you know, about your age and more or less into some of the same things you're into, right? Like being a fraternity and sorority. DreamCon is a cool place because it really is all different ages, from people bringing their kids. So if you have kids who, I would say, oh gosh, I mean, I saw a video of someone, I don't know if you guys saw the video of all the different Spider-Men, and then they had like some baby in there that was like 2, you know, who was also dressed as Spider-Man, and everybody was hyping the baby up. Like, you know, people were bringing their little kids. So bringing your kids who want to see, you know, there are some scantily clad folks in different cosplays. So as long as you're okay with that, with bringing the kids around, I would say it's like family. It's not family friendly, but it's not family friendly, in my personal opinion. I would say that anyone from the ages of like 12 and up for sure, especially if you have kids that are like part of a fandom, that's a great place for them to kind of like peek around. But I would say the average age, if I had to guess, was like college age, more or less a little bit college age, maybe a little bit older. And then I'm in my mid 30s. So I think there were some definitely folks in their late 20s, early 30s there for sure. There were some folks in their 40s. I think some folks in their 50s, but I would say the average age is probably like early to mid 20s, if I had to guess. Nard! Hi, Nard! Let me give you a shout out. Also, I got multiple raids and I realized I haven't shouted out no one! I'm so sorry. Let me do a shout out. I was talking about you, Nard. I was talking about how you lost the panel. So, if I had to give a panel, if you could create your own panel, what would it be? I thought about this. One of the ideas that I had was, if I had to create my own panel for DreamCon, I would think to do a panel that was about balancing content creation with your day job. And if that's something that you are interested in or that you are trying to do, I would want to talk about actual tactical ways to prioritize content when you have a day job. I would want to talk about, you know, strategies to help you avoid burnout. I think that would be one thing I would do. And then, you know, also I would also want to maybe host the solo mixer that I'm talking about. If you came to DreamCon solo dolo, you know, let's do some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna call them appetizers. What are they called? Icebreakers. He said the panel was rigged. Yeah. Tell it to the audience. Yeah, so I would definitely, I'm like, oh no, we should do the solo mixer. And then also, like, I'm like, should I, you know, try to do an LGBT mixer next year? Like I said, the content creation with the day job. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm like, what else would I love to see, discuss, or feel like, because I think the other part with panels is feeling like being an authority to discuss. One of the panels that I did not actually attend that I wanted to, or I was thinking about it, but it ended up happening at the same time as a different one that I was able to go to on the last day, was one about, hold on, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read what it was called, because I was like, damn, this sounds good. But it ended up being at the same time as something else. Not to schedule my agenda. It was called Black Nerd Magic: The Integration of African Spirituality and Nerd Culture. Oh my gosh, guys, when I was at the Black Girl Gamer Brunch, I met one of the writers for South of Midnight. Hello? I was like, oh my God. And like, she was keeping it real chill too. She had to be coaxed into telling everybody that she was one of the main writers for South of Midnight. It was crazy. It was like, wait, what? That's what I mean about the Black Black Girl Gamer group, y'all. Like, get into different groups, different collectives. Black Girl Gamer isn't the only, Black Girl Gamers is not the only group like that. There's other game groups or different collectives and things like that. I'm telling y'all, just Google some different collectives. Black Girl Gamers is what I'm talking about a lot. There's another Black woman kind of gamer group that I am not in that I have heard of. But I can't remember the name right now. I probably have it in my notes somewhere. So like, if you guys are concerned, like I said, if you're concerned about going to DreamCon alone, you have a year to find other people who you can get to know and figure out who would be willing to go with you to DreamCon. Like, don't let being alone stop you. And even if between now and next year you haven't been able to nail down a group, DreamCon is the kind of place I believe that you can go and you can find people. You can get to know people. You can forge those connections in person to like push those relationships. But I'm going to think about it because now I think I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I think I'd like to have a panel. I just want to feel like it's a topic that would be interesting to people, that I feel like I have enough authority to talk about, and I'm not just kind of talking out of my butt. Like, even the whole managing content creation and day job, part of me is like, I don't know, fam. Good luck, you know? Like, but I'm like, I'm technically doing it, child. It's just a lot, you know? You said, likewise, such a great con. Yes. So, yeah, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I thoroughly enjoyed being able to go with the Sims team. So I've been saying it from the rooftops. Thanks again to the Sims team for sending me, for sponsoring for my trip, for asking me to be on the panel. Like, it was really, really good. And coming back from that definitely helps re-energize me to dial back into content because, you know, I love that we come here to this space together. You know, you guys leaving me comments, you guys in the chat. But it can get real challenging. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. It's really challenging to show up day in and day out. And sometimes I just feel like I'm sending my ideas out into the void, you know, and this is a space that you get a lot of validation from more. And that can be a lot. That can just be a lot. You know, it's about putting out more content. It's about getting more eyeballs on your content. It's about getting more likes, more comments, more. And sometimes I'm like, less, rest, you know? And the way that people talk about content creation is not always encouraging of just like resting and taking care of yourself. I know everyone's always like balance and burnout and blah, but the reality is that it can be tough. It can be really tough. And this isn't on y'all. Y'all's job is to enjoy the show. So I'm not trying to put anything on y'all. And again, I appreciate you guys for being here with me and for giving me encouraging words. You guys are always so encouraging and so kind, and y'all show up here and you really do make showing up and playing Sims and playing other games worth it, because I know we're hanging out, we're having a good time, you know? Like, that is fun. That does make it like really encouraging. And then being able to see some of you all in person and just kind of just be like, hey, what's up? Definitely encouraging, because it's like, you know, it's just encouraging, like, okay, we're all real. You know what I mean? We're all real people. He said, love our little community. I know, right? I know. So yeah, I mean, that was basically, you said, you're doing great. Oh my gosh. Garb say, you're doing great. We got your back. Appreciate you. Seeing everyone was such a highlight and encouraging to keep going. Exactly. And Nard had a panel, y'all. Nard had a panel that I was futzing around with my cosplay and I missed it. But he did a panel on imposter syndrome. And like, that's what I mean. Like, being in this community, especially with DreamCon, like, people had so many different panels and panel ideas and ways to support each other. So if you've been, like I said, if you've been before, or if you have some sort of industry expertise or something that you feel like would be a great space for Black nerds to just know about or be a part of, DreamCon, I think, is a great place to kind of like pitch your ideas for something that you want to talk about. So I encourage you to do that as well, especially too, like, it just gives you a reason. It gives you a reason to really show up and go. You know what I mean? Like, me applying for the creator badge this year was also partially of like a commitment, like, okay, you're going, right? Like, you need to go. And sometimes I dibble dabble. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Even though I say I'm going to do something, I'm like, I don't know. But once you start making steps of like, you've committed to this, you're going, it encourages you to do that. So that's something else I would say. You want to go to more panels next year. The information you get from them is very helpful. Yes, the information, the connections that you get too with people who are either on the panel or even in the room with you. Being able to sit down next to someone and just kind of like, oh, hey, you know, what brought you to the con? What are you doing here? What do you normally do? You know, it's like, it's good for that. It's something good for that. So yeah, so I'm like, I got myself another plumb bob headband, y'all. So I am good on this. When I was on the con floor one day, I did give my headband away to somebody because I was like, because she was dressed up as the burglar. It was kind of cute. She dressed up as a burglar. So she's like, where did you get that? You know, I'm dressed up as the burglar, but I didn't have one. And I was just like, oh yeah, we'll be giving some away later. And she's like, okay. And then I was like, thinking to myself, I have multiple. I have multiple of these. So I literally gave it to her off the top of my head. The only thing I regret is that they come with a little charger and a little bag. And I didn't have that on me. I'm like, if I had that on me, I would have given her that too. I didn't think about it. And so, yeah, so this, I don't even, like I said, this isn't the one they gave me. I think this is the one I brought with me because they had already given me one before. So it was cool. Uh-oh, Maxine's rubbing my legs. She's like, I've had enough of this. So yeah, y'all, that was basically it. That was DreamCon. Thank you for listening to me yap. Oh, let me do my outro. What would I say? Thank you to my members for helping make this video possible and for supporting me on my journey to becoming a full-time content creator. If you would like to become a member for access to exclusive Black Girl emotes, as well as other benefits that are yet to be determined, TBD, please check out the description below. And if you want to check out other videos that I've made, please check that out here. And until next time, y'all, dag dag. Wait, what do I say now? I don't even say dag dag anymore. Hold on, let me do that again. And until next time, y'all. Hopefully that cuts together. Hopefully that cuts together. We'll see. We'll see. But yes. Oh, thank you for the 11,000 likes over on TikTok. I appreciate y'all, especially after TikTok was trying to tell me that I wasn't really here. TikTok don't like when I'm not like messing around on the screen. I don't know, child. I used to keep the dag dag. We'll see. Oh, I guess it is a Sims video, so I might keep the dag dag. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I can't understand. Now, the next conversation is Blurred Con. I almost went to Blurred Con this year. But I think by the time it rolled around, I just hadn't gotten my shit together. So people are saying Blurred Con is a little bit more intimate. I don't know. Obviously, I've never been, but I'm wary. I'm wary of going to these cons. So because I gotta watch this cosplay, I gotta watch this anime. So once I start watching anime and stuff, I think I'm gonna feel a little bit more, you know, the more popular anime characters. Like, I don't watch One Piece or whatever, but I can recognize one of the characters has a hat. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you watch it. Somebody was like, oh yeah, I know what she's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know I saw a few people with that hat and they were dressed up in the red with that hat. And I was like, oh, I think that's One Piece. What is BlurredCon and what does it stand for? BlurredCon, I think, is a Straw Hat Luffy. Okay. Oh, that makes the Straw Hat Goofy make sense now. Okay. You don't watch One Piece either, but you know him. I'm just saying. That Piccolo character, I didn't really know, but I knew. I was like, oh, I know who that is. Like an auntie. I'm like, I've seen that, baby. That's how I felt. But yeah, Blurred Con, Black Nerd Con. It is a DC based con. So Blurred Con, Dream Con. Like I said, I just found out about Flame Con, which I think is coming back this year. Flame Con. It seems real small. Flame Con is the world's largest queer comic con, featuring 2-day comic arts and entertainment expo. Hold on, wait, I can share my screen. Also, I don't know if you guys, can you guys see this when I do this? Oh. Hold on. Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure if Twitch could see it, but they can. Okay, bad. Yeah, so I found out about this, FlameCon. FlameCon is the world's largest queer Comic Con, featuring a 2-day comics and arts and entertainment expo showcasing creators and special guests from all corners of the LGBTQ fandom. It features thoughtful discussions, exclusive performances and screenings, cosplay, and more. And it's happening in 31 days. So I was like, oh, let me buy tickets and let me see. But again, I have no idea. None. But this is that moment where I'm like, I don't like having to choose between being black and gay. I don't like it. I don't like it. Because this is that moment where I'm going to show up and I'm like, it's going to be white as hell and I'm going to be mad. So yeah, there's that I want to check out. Now, I think I will say this. I think this is happening. Oh yeah, when? Saturday the 15th. There is what I think is a new thing. It feels like a black queer takeover the weekend, I think, of August 15th. So for me, I'm like, wait a minute now. If FlameCon is happening August 15th, and then there's going to be a bunch of black gay parties happening that weekend, and they are not related, I might be able to make my own perfect black gay nerdy weekend for myself here in New York City. So, you know, you tried, but when you saw those episodes, you had to bow out. Oh, that's funny. We need a place to put our anime movie and TV show Rex under the game Rex. Maybe I can just, you know what? I can update game Rex to media Rex, because I have a TikTok collection that I call media Rex. Cause it used to be like maybe just books. And then I was like, books, TV shows, movies, games, media. I'll update it to say media Rex. So all of that. Is it, your birthday weekend? Ooh, One Piece is a commitment. Yeah, so that's all for me tonight, y'all. Let me stop recording, because that's already going to be a beast for me to edit. All in all, I had a good time. I can notice that I did have moments of overwhelm, and I was this close. How close? I was this close. Look at my eyes. Look how close I was, y'all. This close to having a meltdown. That close. I was that close. I was that close to shutting down and having a full meltdown. I had to talk myself off the ledge. I really did. Because I was like, I am not happy right now. But it wasn't, hi, Obvious Disaster. It was a pleasure to meet you too. Hi, how are you? Glad you had such a great time. Thank you. Yeah, what'd I say? This close. You see how close that is? That close to having a meltdown and shut down. I had to reel it in. I literally had to reel it in. I was like, girl, like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And then eventually I calmed down. I got to a point where I had to tell myself, like, hey, you're not here to be an attendee. You're here to work. You are helping put on this con. You are helping create experiences for people. You're not here just to be here as an attendee. Okay? So relax. And between that and then later being able to stay on Sunday, totally turned my whole situation around emotionally. But for a minute there, I was like, this is a blessing. This is a whole blessing. And I am about to have a full meltdown about it. Just because I was doing too much. But I learned. I feel like I learned from the first year to the second year. I learned. And if I go next year, or even the year, whenever I go again, because I do plan on going again at some point, the next time I go, or the next con I go to, I understand just like you have to manage your time better. You have to manage your time. Commit to less, and then plan a little bit more. And then also, whatever you commit to, make sure you are like that is the priority. Like for me, one of the things that I missed, like I said, it was Nardvillain's panel that he was on with Miss Duchess. I missed that panel because I didn't manage my time well. So like that needed to have been the priority. And in hindsight, I would have done some things differently. I didn't do it differently. That's okay. You said the solo leveling Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer are easiest to get into. I've heard Demon Slayer. We need a Sunday. Absolutely we did. You don't think you're into action animes. You like the cutesy schoolgirl ones. Demon Slayer's on your list. Jujutsu Kaisen I did half of, but I found it wasn't that interesting. the characters left me kind of meh. Okay. I think that maybe my thing needs to be like, I need to commit to 3 episodes. So that's fair. Conventions can be so overstimulating. And you know what else, Lauren? It wasn't even so much that the convention itself was overstimulating for me, because I was prepared for that. I totally was prepared for that. I had my earplugs just in case. Because last year I was overwhelmed because I didn't know what to expect. This year I knew what to expect, and I was overwhelmed because I felt like I couldn't experience all the things that I wanted to experience. But then I just had to come to terms with, this is a big con. This is a big con, and I can't do everything. And once I came to terms with that, and just kind of, I had to let it go. And then I'm telling you, getting that extra day on Sunday, and I almost didn't take it. I almost was like, nah, I should go home. And then I was like, no, fuck, we gonna go. Getting that extra day Sunday honestly helped me a lot. And I still miss stuff, but I felt so much better about what I was able to do because I stayed the full DreamCon weekend. And in my mind, if I go next year, there's multiple things happening here. If The Sims goes back, if The Sims sends me, because that's not a guarantee. They may be like, cool, that's cool, but we want to get a new batch of creators. Not a guarantee that they would send me again. So I would hope so if they go back that they send me again. But even if not, I know now to stay Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then leave on Monday. And that's for me as a content creator. If you're not a content creator, I don't think you have to do all that. Me as a content creator, I needed to be there all those days and never, they will never catch me slipping again. I'll tell you that much. Also, Black folks don't know how to talk quietly during panel fireside chat. They don't. Not for nothing. They really don't. They don't know how to whisper. They don't know how to, or just like, maybe now is not the time to take a phone call. Someone was sitting next to me calling somebody during the Issa Rae fireside chat on the phone, speakerphone. Ring, ring. And I'm like, you need to do that right now. I didn't say anything because I wasn't trying, but I was like, seriously? Or having full-blown conversations, which is why I said, when I said chop it up with the person next to you, I did not mean while the panel was happening. But people were doing that. People were just chopping it up, not recognizing that, like, hey, we all can hear you and we're trying to hear them. Because people are just excited to be connecting with folks. And then someone recommended a worry stone. That's going into my required list next year. Yeah, just bad manners. Exactly. My required little kit next year for what to bring with me on the con floor is going to be a fidget toy or some sort of worry stone or something for me to just relax because I'm getting anxious because I'm missing. It's like FOMO. It's like true toddler FOMO. You know, when the toddlers won't take a nap because they're going to miss something cool. Imagine that, but you're an adult walking around normally, being able to control your own life. That's how it felt. Let's form us a dodgeball team. You have a fidget ring that you really like? Drop the recommendation in Discord, please. Oh, so cool seeing you on the panel. Thanks, Nard. So I was saying to everybody, yes, obvious, yes, calling on the phone, speakerphone, phone in hand, ring, and I was like that's what I was really like. I probably in one of my videos of Issa Rae can hear the people next to me like talking, or the people behind me talking. You said you're spraying folks with water guns next year. That could be a thing. You need a portable fan? Yes. I made myself a little video. Again, it didn't get a lot of views, but I did make a little video about like what to bring with you on the con floor. Because I included portable fan, portable charger, a charger block, not just a portable charger, but the charger block as well. Mints or gum, little toothpicks or toothpick flossers, a mask, some wet wipes, some deodorant, and hand sanitizer. I think those were the main things. I'm probably missing some big thing, but now it's gonna be Worry Stone. Someone else suggested that you bring like a little sewing kit for cosplay, but DreamCon has like a cosplay repair room, which is pretty fun. So I was like, yeah, you might not actually need the cosplay repair kit or like a little sewing kit for yourself. It would be nice to have, but DreamCon has a cosplay repair room. So, you know, and oh yeah, and that Advil pain. Yeah. Good night, everyone. You can't hang anymore. 7 out. Okay, good night, Nick. So yeah, I mean, that was DreamCon. Like I said, it was a time. A time was had. Oh, Miss Riss is live. Let's raid Miss Riss. If you're on Twitch, we're gonna raid Miss Riss. So yeah, so thank you all for hanging out with me. I'm going to go now. We'll be back tomorrow because I'm not gonna be able to stream on Thursday because I gotta pack because I gotta travel again. So we'll be back tomorrow playing Sims. And child, I will, you know, it's been nice not having to check in on all them kids. But we will be back playing the Lurv Legacy Challenge, okay? So, yeah. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you all for helping me, you know, for being here and for helping making something like DreamCon with The Sims possible. And again, thank you to The Sims for such a wonderful, wonderful trip. And until next time, y'all. Let me raid. Oh, you know what? Wait, is she leaving? I don't think so. We're gonna copy this raid message. What's my raid message? Love, what did we say? Love bugs have landed. Is that where I haven't committed to a raid message yet. I haven't committed. So I guess if you are subscribed, copy that one. And then if you're not subscribed, copy I guess just the one without them the emoji. Okay. Thank you for your great stream as always. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for hanging out. I hope I get to catch you next year at the next one. Or if you guys end up going to TwitchCon, which I'm 50-50 on if I'm going to TwitchCon just because of the date. Now that it's in November. I was like, whoa, Twitch, please. So yeah. Anyway, we are going to raid Miss Riss, who, like I said, I was on the panel with. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, bye!